It is truly a bad
So
fate.
hi everybody. We were currently talking about nonsense goth IHOP
Mm.
and MILF Denny's and Monster Girl McDonald's.
Mute.
Yes.
Yep.
2 years,
Let's take
motherfuckers.
a
Hi.
let's
Let's
take a
take a
look at
census.
this.
Let's take a census, guys. What do you think? Cat Girl
Muscle
Chipotle's,
Girl, Denny, Dairy Queen.
Cat Boy Chick-fil-A, Bimbo Burger King, Alt Arby's, Dilf Buffalo Wild Wings, E-Girl Applebee's, Femboy Hooters, Fem Domino's, Dom
Chunibyo
IHOP,
Chili's.
Himboy Pizza Hut, MILF Denny's, Monster Girl McDonald's, Power Bottom Panera Bread, Subway, Tomboy
Uh,
Outback Steakhouse, Trans Pride Taco Bell, or Waifu Wednesdays. You can only choose 3 to be real. Which do you prefer?
Tsundere Sonic.
I'm gonna be real with you.
That's different, though.
I need a goth
Sunder-
IHOP and a
ooh.
femme dominoes in my life.
You need a goth IHOP and a Fem Domino's. You'd proudly go to
be
Tomboy
nice.
Outback. Bro.
Oh man.
I want them all though.
I got 2. I don't know about the third one.
Oh man. It's some funny shit. It's some funny shit, dude. Some funny shit.
You know, I got my 3. I think I got my 3.
All
Just
right.
based off this list, because I actually haven't had like all these from where I live, so bear that in mind. I would do E-Girl Applebee's, Monster Girl McDonald's, and Waifu Wendy's.
See, I'm not a big fan of
I feel like
McDonald's.
Wendy's is basic though, pretty basic.
I would
bitch.
do waifu wins. I would do waifu Wendy's.
Wendy's is the shit. I love it.
I'm not a big McDonald's person, and I'm not really a
Mm.
Denny's person. Goth IHOP, I'd probably take that. That's fun. Waifu Wendy's.
Wendy's has the best burgers in my opinion from the locations I've been able to I have locally. But there's this place here called Frugal's that has really good burgers that like are equal, but their seasoned fries are just that's just much better.
Cat Girl Chipotle. Oh shit, that's another beautiful thing I forgot about moving back to Hermitage. I just realized. Okay,
Hermitage.
So number one, there's gonna be I'm gonna be back in civilization. So number one, I'm gonna be in close proximity to a Target. I'm also close proximity to a fucking Best Buy, but also I'm gonna be in close proximity to a Five Guys Burgers and Fries.
Ooh, that's
Oh,
dangerous.
that's right.
However, Five Guys is so fucking
Peanuts.
expensive.
Yeah, it has been extremely expensive recently.
I
so
went
it's like-
there
I have not
on a
been-
date and I had to pay $40 for 2 burgers and 2 drinks.
I haven't been to a Five
That's
Guys
a lot.
in a long time.
Yes.
Is it worth it though?
Five Guys Burgers?
Debatable.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Debatable.
Okay, I'll be wary of that.
It depends
then.
on
I'll
what you're
try.
in the
I mean,
mood for.
yeah.
Here's the thing. It's I don't eat it often, but when I do,
I don't
So
always
good.
eat at Five Guys, but when I do,
it is a fucking orgasm.
I have a mess to clean up afterwards.
Yeah,
And not just on my face.
not just on my face, but also my pants. And it's mostly because the
Cowgirl
meat is
Cold Stone.
dribbling down on my pants.
Yes.
And
very
also,
the, all the
Take
all
one
the
bite,
front.
all those onions
all the
just
front.
splat out,
the
and you're
meat
like, God
juice-
damn it.
the meat juice dribbles onto my pants, and also the meat juice dribbles in my pants.
Yeah.
I'm hungry
Oh,
now.
good.
Ah.
Seeps like a hand and spreads out. Just,
It's because guys, you have to realize the juice soaks through
Oh, hang
denim,
on a second.
It's so
yep.
Oh,
but it's fucking delicious. Those burgers are delicious. Five Guys will give you tons
They also have a lot of
Yeah,
peanuts.
they do give
that
you
too.
tons of fries.
You only order small
Yeah, fries
fries,
and peanuts,
because they're
yeah.
like, okay, here's your smalls, and then fries
No,
in the bag.
I order medium, and then I go back home and I split them with everybody. I get Chipotle. I get their
Yeah,
I
that's
get
smart.
their Cajun fries. Fucking delicious. And then you go back with a fucking grocery bag of fries, and you just share them with everybody. It's like, hey guys,
Yeah.
I brought fries for everyone. Like fucking
And then everyone peeks out from around the corner like,
Five Guys fries. Five Guys fries.
yeah, Five Guys fries?
Five Guys. Five Guys.
Yeah.
Fried burger. Fried burger.
Five Guys fries? Yeah.
But yeah.
Sorry, we talk about burgers and fries still.
Burgers and fries, yeah. Fried. And
Fat
the other
five.
thing is,
Burgers
the
and
oth-
fries,
dude,
burgers
they
and
give
fries.
you like
I'm
a
a little
fucking-
lad who likes burgers and fries.
Here's the thing. They give you like a fucking grocery bag and then they
Mhm.
dump fries into the grocer bag.
It's funny because
Yes.
some grocery
Yeah,
stores
they
don't even
probably
give you
have
bags
shit out.
anymore.
Their Cajun fries are fucking delicious.
To die for.
Their
Okay,
fries,
whenever
their fries are fucking delicious, dude.
I've never full disclosure, I've never had Five
Taco
Guys,
Olive
so
Garden?
whenever I
Oh,
do come
Taco
out there at
Olive
some
Garden.
point for like a convention
That's
or
pretty good.
whatever, we gotta do Five Guys.
That's good naming
The only one I
sense.
thought of is
Daxter, that's very good naming sense, but no, because Olive Garden, gross. Yeah.
Five
what about
Guys with lettuce
Chunibyo
buns?
chilies?
Man,
Think
I
of that?
love Five Guys every time I have
Yeah.
them. I'm talking about the restaurant, yeah.
Olive Garden is like the Walmart of Italian food.
It's that's a pretty good way to put that.
You know, you will have
It's still
cheaper
decent,
food
though,
if
isn't
you
it?
just head down to like Giuseppe's
That's all
down
right.
the road.
Or
It'll
just
be
cook it
cheaper,
yourself.
it'll
I think
taste so
Carrabba's
much
is better.
Five Guys will give you a ton of fries though. I've tried Five Guys with lettuce buns. Big mistake. Yeah, don't do lettuce buns.
Yeah, don't do that. You
Dude,
So I'm assuming get a small fry.
I mean,
That's
I don't know,
if
man.
it's
I'm not
only
into that.
you eating it, yes.
If
you
it's
have
just
people
you
who will
eating
steal
it,
from you, get a
if
medium.
here's the thing. If you've got people, look, if it's just you eating small fry, if you're taking it back home and you're just like, I'm just gonna share this with
Hey
everybody.
guys,
Get
Like
a
if all
medium,
four of us went to
Specifically
Five
Five
Guys
Guys.
like right now.
get a medium.
but we're only
Get a
four
meat for
guys.
all
We're
four
only
of
gonna be
us?
4 guys at Five Guys.
Yes.
We need to get Calvin, so then we're
Like-
5 guys at Five
Oh
Guys.
yeah,
Just
we
keep
need to get
telling
one
you,
more before we
it's
go.
gonna be
Speaking
the
of Calvin-
cup of
speaking of
fries,
Calvin,
and then they
funny
add
story.
more in the bag.
Speaking of Calvin, funny story. He was running to catch the bus and he accidentally called me. He pocket dialed me, and I answered the
No.
phone. And I was like, "Oh, Calvin called. What's up?"
I'm not gonna be here. I'm missing the bus.
He's literally. I just caught the bus. I was like, "Oh, well, call me when you get home, man." And he forgot to call me when he got home.
So when he
he's probably tired.
so when he does call you, we all gotta go to Five Guys.
We gotta go to Five Guys.
Yeah, 5 guys at Five Guys.
We have literally.
Perfect.
Real talk though. Real talk. I'm
spent
serious
$100
about the Five
on
Guys
Five
thing though. Whenever
Five Guys
we do
is
go
good,
all
dude.
five do it.
Dude, you should try Five Guys. Dude, the thing that you gotta like the fries are good.
gotta
And you
check
get a lot
now.
of them, but like the burgers, you gotta
Oh,
try
yeah.
Five Guys.
Burgers.
The burgers.
Well, obviously, if the
Burgers.
main meal wasn't anything, what's the point? You know.
Like,
Don't they also have
here's the-
shakes and stuff too?
They do, but
Yes, they
like, here's the thing about
Mm.
their burgers: the meat and the juice from the meat like fills all the.
Do I need
corners
a
and
second set of
pockets.
clothes?
Fills all the pockets
Yes.
Right.
of your mouth.
Maybe a
Like,
third.
Guys.
Mm.
Here
This
we
is
go.
this is what it
Because
does.
you take one bite and it just spreads, and you're just like, oh.
Like it fills up all the
Instant
corners and the
umami
pockets
flavor.
of your mouth. Like literally,
Mhm.
that's it's what a burger is supposed to do. Man.
Dang, it's
God, I'm
my
so
nearest
hungry.
my nearest Five Guys is an hour and a half away.
I know, mine
Go make the
I'm
trip,
does.
man.
sad.
Go make the pilgrimage. Go make the pilgrimage.
kindred
You got a car. Go
Yeah.
make the pilgrimage.
Bro.
Well, if I
Make
do
it
that,
Day
then I'm
off
gonna.
and just go.
Bro.
If I
Yeah.
do
Do it.
that, then I gotta go Danielle's photo booth. Not really, but
I'm telling.
that's
I'm,
a
What?
I'm
that's a
telling you
3-day
now.
trip.
I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now. Mine is an hour and a half away too, because it's all the way over to my brother's place. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, yeah. I just realized. all
You
the
know
way
what?
over
Whenever I gotta go to the
Chile.
Verizon store next time, I'll do about Five Guys.
Yeah, yeah.
Mine's like
The
30,
official
40
one.
minutes away, but it's still like
yeah.
drive.
Like even my
So good.
Walmart's
Also,
like
they're
30.
closing
So
soon,
good, dude.
so
Man, I gotta try it at some point again.
I guess
Borgar.
actually hour and a half's not terrible. I've had to do
It's not-
2-hour drives one way.
Yeah, it's not too.
Mhm.
Yeah, hour and a half one way is not too terrible.
I actually had to do that for a phone one time too.
All right,
So-
guys. So we've got volume 12. We're finally on volume 12, guys.
I gotta do dinner. I'm getting
I can't do it
hungry
too.
now.
Oh yeah, he's
should make a
leaving us
burger or
now.
something. I might. I'm tempted.
French fries burger.
Ted
French
Borgar.
fries burger.
I gotta go to like, at
Man,
least
abandoned
I gotta go to at
streams when
least
they can close
Wendy's
for
or
5 Guys.
something.
No, see, the thing is, you take your phone with you, leave the stream for a sec, and as soon as you get in your car, you have to join the
Oh, yeah.
stream while you're on your
I
way
do
to
have
Five
unlimited
Guys.
data. I could do
Yeah,
that.
you can do that. And then by the time you get there,
Jesus Christ.
and get a
man.
burger.
Okay.
Should I
Maybe we'll be done with the
actually
chapter.
do that?
No.
Live
I mean, it's like,
stream.
are we being serious? I mean, like, real talk here.
I mean, if you're
We're being
craving that
serious.
Five Guys burger,
No.
Well, it's Wendy's.
oh, excuse me, Wendy's. Okay.
No, what?
Yeah.
No, Five Guys. I would not be back before the stream ends,
These are
unless
not
we
the
are willing to
same.
do like a 3-hour stream or
These-
3+ hour.
These are not the same.
Sometimes it
No,
goes
we
that
should
way.
not. We should not. These are
Wendy's would be maybe an hour. Like to and fro would be an hour.
Understand.
Or
Mhm.
McDonald's, you know.
Okay, so anyway,
Mickey D's.
we're gonna go to actually reading the book now that 15 minutes have passed.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So,
maybe next stream I'll do that.
So let's
Okay.
let's just go ahead with ladies and gentlemen of the congregation. No, I didn't say Fred fried burger.
Yeah,
I
just
said,
get that off my head now.
I said French fries burger. French fries burger.
Have you ever watched Billy and Mandy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched a little bit of it.
burger, fat burger,
I know what
Yes.
it is. I know what it is.
Hey, do you
but
guys like
French fries.
nachos?
Nacho
I
cheese.
just want some frozen yogurt.
It's my cheese. It's not your cheese. It's my cheese.
Cheebs.
It's nacho cheese.
Good one.
Yes.
Actually, if I'm gonna go to Wendy's, I'll just go to Frugal's. They're just as good, but better fries.
Frugals.
I wanna
Sounds
go
What are
to
you
nice.
talking
Cane's
about? You
now.
go to Wendy's, you get their French fries, and then you dip them in the frosting.
No. Oh, yeah, with the frosty. Okay. Oh, well, they have milkshakes at Frugal's too. But yeah, I see your point. Yeah.
I don't know why that
probably
is so
not bad.
delicious, but it is.
Right?
Yeah,
all
fries and
sweet.
frosty. It's.
Yep.
I actually
What
learned that
movie
from
did
Kim
that?
Possible.
There was a movie that
It was
did
Kim
that that started
Possible.
that.
Kim Possible.
That's not a
Did that.
movie, though.
That's
No.
not
No, they had a movie.
Well, actually, they
They
did.
have a movie.
Kim Possible did not do that.
Oh, that's right. They did.
They did. Yeah, they
That was
did.
the one that ended everything. They did.
It was
Anyway.
like it was the boyfriend for that movie that he gets, or that Kim gets, and then after that, that's when Ron and Kim become a couple afterwards.
Unstoppable.
Mm-hmm.
And Rufus.
The naked mole rat.
Hmm.
Okay.
Actually, it's funny that we're talking
Wendy's
Disney
that.
Channel shows because, like, I've been
Yeah.
recently on a kick because I found all of Dave the Barbarian to watch, and I'm like, oh,
Barbarian.
I fucking love that show.
Barbarian. Fucking
It's so
great.
good. Thinking quickly, Dave constructs a handmade megaphone using nothing more than a megaphone, some string, and a squirrel. And it's just beautiful. And then at the end of the episode, they ask him why he used the squirrel on the construction of the megaphone, and he just doesn't answer. And the show ends. It's beautiful.
Yep.
Ugh. Is it nighttime already?
God damn it.
Nice. That wasn't me.
I actually don't know who that was.
That was
That was him.
Tom.
No.
No,
cricket
no.
Yes, because the cricket came up on your screen.
Yeah.
Discord gave you away.
Yeah.
Although I gotta
They
ask,
ratted
is
on you.
mine's
I've
still
said
gonna
anything
be
else.
like
Actually,
stupid
it
loud.
cricketed on him.
You can try it.
Oh man, I got cricketed. Oh,
Nut.
It is a little loud.
God damn it.
Nut.
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 Damn.
Nut.
Nut.
But you know, I will give you a round of applause for that. Good effort.
Thank you,
Good effort.
Doctor.
Doctor.
Somebody start
Doctor.
Whoa,
the
Doctor.
fucking book.
The Jester's Escape. I think that's the prologue.
Gestures.
Chapter 1.
Yeah.
No,
here,
prologue.
Oh, we're in the
It
prologue. No, the
sounded
prologue.
like you
Hold
said-
on,
it
hold
sounded
on.
Like you said the gestures escape, and I'm like, no, it's the jesters.
Jester's Escape. Yeah.
There we go. Now I'm on
Um,
the prologue.
Yep. Yuki Kagarazaka is a genius.
Or at least he likes to think he is.
Hmm.
Stroking
Even
his own
back in
ego
his,
there.
That's not
I mean,
how an ego
yeah.
gets stroked.
Doesn't matter.
excuse me.
That's a
Anyway.
penis.
Mm-hmm. Even back in his, it's a penis. Yeah,
That's a
it's a penis.
We're never gonna get started.
Uh-huh.
All right.
It's called hentai, and it's
And it's
art.
And it's art.
Don't
Why
you
is that
judge me.
Hin wearing a tie?
I'm still mad that that's a deleted scene. That would have been good in the show. Anyway, even back in his original world, Yuki had a special power, a sort of supernatural observational force, one you could call psychokinesis. He was born with this power, but he never felt any urgent need to do something with it. After all, he knew if he told someone about this power of his, he'd be made into a spectacle. Life was thus rather humdrum for him, but he enjoyed it well enough. His parents were kind to him, and he had a decent number of friends. He never found it hard to scare up some money when needed, so he had access to basically anything he wanted. He absolutely had no complaints. But one day, Yuki was befallen by sudden misfortune. Right when he entered middle school, his parents passed away in an accident. It wasn't their fault. Their car was hit head-on by a truck driver who fell asleep behind the wheel and they died instantly.
Goddamn.
Only
Truck
Yuki.
Coon.
I know, for fuck's sake. Yet another one. Yeah.
I'm a tumor. I'm a tumor. I'm a tumor.
Mm.
I'm a tumor.
Oh, only Yuki.
I'm a Turner. I'm a Turner. I'm a Turner.
A Turner?
You're a
Turner.
Turner.
Oh.
It's like his last name's Turner, and he's turning the wheel for the truck.
No.
Not related to Timmy Turner. No relation
I was
to
gonna ask.
that family.
No relation. Only Yuki, sleeping in the back seat, survived.
Giant
He thought it was
moose
unfair.
guava juice.
What did you say?
Giant moose guava juice.
Oh, giant snake, birthday cake, large fries, chocolate shake. I understand.
I gotta do dinner.
He thought-
At some point.
Oh, yeah, you should get something to eat.
I'm gonna do it right
He
now.
thought it was unfair.
I'll still listen.
Yeah. He thought it was unfair, of course. He hated the driver who caused the accident, but there was nothing he could do about it. Japan was a nation of laws and regulation, and personal revenge wasn't part of that picture. The ensuing court case revealed a number of things. The transportation company the truck driver worked for had bitten off more than they could chew. They put the brunt of that on their field employees, who toiled on even though they knew they were overworked. The driver, too, was a victim here. So, was it the transportation company's fault? Well, the facts didn't paint a clear picture there either. If they turned down a job from a big firm, they might not have gotten another order from them again. It wasn't easy to say no to a long-time client. The transportation company should have responded by improving their business structure, but skilled drivers were tough to come by, and they didn't have the financial wherewithal to bring on and train younger talent. That's so messed up, Yuki lamented. The world was just so unfair, and he was just so powerless. Who should he hate for it? To be honest, society itself had serious problems. Yuki considered exacting his revenge on society, but that was beyond his own capabilities. After all, we live in society, As a genius, he thus knew his own limits. The world had advanced to completion, in essence. Supernatural powers or not, having a little strength on your side didn't mean you could change anything by yourself. You weren't going to beat an army, and even if you could, there was no future awaiting you past that. Yuki thought about giving into despair, destroying all of society and rebuilding it from scratch. That caused nothing but misery for vast numbers of people, and he just couldn't commit to that. If Yuki wanted to change society, the only way was to pound the pavement and attract more people who shared his beliefs. And attract more people who shared his beliefs.
I'm sorry, whose tuna are we pounding?
I was going to say, and pound more people who shared his beliefs? Okay, well, whatever.
All right, then.
All right.
But only if we could share it together.
Good. Oh yeah, he could then become a politician and improve his nation in his own image. That was the only plan Yuki came up with. A long, patient path. One that was possible if he really put his mind to it. But it only bare fruit decades into the future. Yuki was at an impasse, and before he made his decision, he wound up traveling between worlds. Whether this was a stroke of fortune or misfortune for him was another question entirely. It was the sheer malice of the demon lord Kazalim that brought Yuki to this world. Kazalim had lost his physical body, retaining possession of just his spiritual one, but he still hadn't lost his powers as the Cursed Lord. He was biding his time, making the necessary preparations to resurrect himself, and he'd execute his plan only when he summoned a body suitable for his spirit. Of course, he carefully examined the constraints he put on the summoned target. Failure was absolutely out of the question for this ritual, so he'd use his powers of domination to carve a cursed seal before the summoning. The summoned target's heart and mind would be crushed, completely unaware of what happened. Kazalim would then seize the power within their soul, snatching away the body and resurrecting himself. Kazalim's sole mistake was summoning Yuki for this ritual. None of the curse-driven magic the Demon Lord tried on him worked. With his genius-level talents, Yuki quickly surmised how this world operated. In the midst of the journey, he obtained all the powers he wanted. The powers to change the world. It was pure, unadulterated energy, a power from the soul that he could alter to his liking. The name of it, this unique skill, Initiator. He had told Rimuru that he lacked any special skills, but that was a bald-faced lie. First thing he initiated with this power was anti-skill, the ability to cancel out anything hostile coming his way. That immediately foiled Kazalim's scheme. Not only was Kazalim defeated, but he even had to capitulate to Yuki. Now Yuki found meaning to life in this world. Here, it was eat or be eaten. The laws governing civilization were still incomplete, and it'd be a while until they even approached perfection. Therefore, it was left to him to become this world's leader and guide it in the right direction. Yuki had decided to tackle this unfair world head-on. It was a challenge that drove him forward. This world was his for the taking. Yuki had escaped the chaotic scene at the cathedral with his 3 servants, Laplace, Footman, and Tyr. The group promptly tried to flee the Holy Empire Lubellius. They considered staying nearby, engaging the situation, but ultimately decided that remaining there was too dangerous. The berserk hero Cronoa wasn't the kind of pushover Yuki could control. She was a fearsome figure, one who saw any living, breathing being inside of her as enemy, or being inside of her as her enemy. Granville must have known that when he offered to fight alongside Yuki. He hated to admit it, but this time his enemy had the upper hand. What a travesty, though, eh? We finally gave the Demon Lord Luminous the slip. We were one step away from nabbing a hero, the greatest weapon anyone could hope for, and now look, Laplace lamented. Ho, 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 Footman chortled. Her strength was nothing I've seen in this dimension. It is a pity we couldn't bring her to our side, but against her, everybody there would have been killed, no? That was the logical conclusion, but Yuki wasn't sure things would go that easily. Yeah, who knows? I guess in the end, the Demon Lord Rimuru's a freak of nature, huh? And Luminous and Leon were on his side too, so we're talking 3 Demon Lords and a small army of decent Magicborn. No matter who won, it sure wouldn't surprise me, Laplace replied. Precisely, said Tyr. Granville's a former hero himself, so he's quite strong too. I can't even fathom who would come out on top. Laplace and Tyr weren't as optimistic as Footman. Like Yuki, they were also contemplating a possible victory for Rimuru's side. Certainly for Yuki's purposes, Cronoa annihilating everybody on the scene would be the best way to end the day. That'd rub out Rimuru, a tremendous nuisance, Granville, a pain in the ass, Luminous, a likely future threat to him, and even Leon, the nemesis of Laplace and his cohorts. With all of them gone, the West was as good as under Yuki's control, and while Cronoa would still be a handful, she wasn't that scared of him if she lacked any sentience. For all he cared, they could just bait her with some monsters and banish her to the other side of the desert or something. If an adversary was all strength and nothing else, Yuki wouldn't even see it as a threat. That was why he hoped, at least, to find out who survived, but... No, we were right to run. If we got involved, I don't think any of us would have come out unscathed. And besides, his instincts told them something bad was about to happen. They needed to figure out their position in this free-for-all, if only so they could form a strategy. But Yuki trusted his instincts and chose to flee anyway. If Cronoa was defeated, the surviving Demon Lords would no doubt be openly hostile to him. Rimuru had probably noticed Yuki's betrayal by this point. He couldn't talk his way out of that any longer. With his defeat, they had lost their base of operations, their position, and everything else in the West. And all, Yuki thought, because he was foolish enough to fall for Granville's offers. He was thus willing to accept this result as his just deserts. That was why, when it was time to flee, he didn't hesitate for a moment. This firm decision-making acumen was one of his greatest assets, and it had seen him through some difficult spots time and time again. Yuki assumed this would be another one of those times, but he soon came to realize how sorely mistaken he was. Suddenly, as Yuki's group quickly traversed the landscape, a single man stood before them, blocking their path. Next to him was a blue-haired girl whose beauty immediately drew your attention, wearing a dark red maid outfit that looked extremely out of place. Who are you? Yuki froze, sensing the danger, and the man ignored Laplace's question, his eyes transfixed on Yuki. Nobody else mattered to him. Ho, ho, ho. If you mean to get in our way, Footman took a step forward, ready to eliminate this duo. The next moment, he was sent crashing to the ground by a new figure, another girl wearing the same dark red maid outfit as the blue-haired one. This girl's hair was green. She was other than Misery, who had been on assignment in Glacia until a few moments ago. The appearance of Testarosta put an end to that mission, and so she flew over. And with Misery here, the blue-haired figure must have been Rain. The two of them served only one man, the Demon Lord Guy Crimson, Lord of Darkness and the most powerful being in the world. His rogue hair, darker than blood, fluttered in the breeze, his crimson eyes twinkling like gems as he beheld Yuki. Hey, first time we met, I think. You've been attracting my interest. Guy's gaze was frozen upon Yuki. No one else was permitted to enter his sight. Yuki, detecting this, wasn't sure whether to feel happy or sad about that. Even the way Misery just dispatched Footman, he had a decent idea of his foe's powers. And not just that, the colors of their hair and the unusual maid uniforms matched those of the curious group Kigali, Kazalim, and Clayman had all told them about. This man before him stood at the very peak of the world, peak he wanted for himself. If he had the ambition to conquer the world, Yuki would have to face him sooner or later. Ah, you're Guy Crimson, hailed as the most powerful of the Demon Lords. It's an honor to meet you. My name is Yuki Kagurazaka. To think you'd come to me. Did you want to join forces? Yuki grinned at Guy, never letting himself be overpowered. This was, he knew, very wishful thinking. One of Guy's maids had just knocked Footman to the ground, and there was no way they came here to extend an olive branch. He knew that, but he still put up a friendly facade. That was how he negotiated, making an outrageous statement or proposal, engaging the other side's circumstances and goals from their reaction. You're funny. That's quite an attitude to take in front of me. But maybe that wouldn't be such a bad offer, and it looks like you and Leon are enemies, eh?
It's the other way
Oh wait,
around.
this
You
is
said and
who is
first instead of but.
sorry.
You got your.
Sorry. And wait, and who's talking? Is this Yuki or this guy?
No,
I think
this
this
is
guy.
Guy.
That's Guy. And maybe
That's
that
right.
wouldn't be such a bad offer, but it looks like
Yeah.
you and Leon are enemies, eh? So.
That's right. I messed it up. Anyway, that's quite an attitude to take in front of me. And maybe that wouldn't be such a bad offer, but it looks like you and Leon are enemies, eh? And besides, aren't you traveling to the east now? Because personally, I ain't a fan of Ludora gaining any more war power. Negotiations were off the table. Yuki didn't expect Guy to take the offer from the start. It didn't faze him. He was too busy scrutinizing whatever information he could glean from Guy's words. Ludora was the emperor of the Nazca Namrium Almeria United Eastern Empire. Oh, Guy's name dropping him meant that the two of them had a relationship, and most likely not a friendly one. So they want to eliminate us before we can reach the east. I really don't want to tangle with the strongest demon lord here, but if this is what it's come to, so be it. There was no avoiding a battle with Guy. Escape was futile. Silly little tricks were meaningless in this situation. Going after Guy with everything they had, Yuki decided, offered them better chances. Well, alright. If you're opposed to us, that serves me just fine as well. This way I can test out the powers of the strongest of the demon lords before I come to the east. Yuki meant to antagonize Guy. At the same time, a great excitement welled within his heart until it spilled out and coursed through his entire body. Right then, at that moment, he had decided to take the powers he had bottled up and unleash them all against the strongest demon lord. Defeat, he thought as he sized Guy up, wasn't even imaginable to him. Yuki was certainly confident. In fact, in a one-on-one match, he was sure he could beat anyone. He could tell Cronoa was a pretty dangerous foe, but nothing more. With a concentrated effort, he could win, if only after a struggle, but they were sharing a venue with multiple demon lords who were clearly not on his side. Leon, Luminous, and even the incredibly soft-hearted Rimuru had likely noticed Yuki's true intentions. Rimuru had realized some time ago that Yuki was his enemy, but that actually benefited Yuki back at the cathedral. Had he tried using Rimuru to his advantage, Yuki would have fallen into a trap. Yuki didn't know that at the time, but either way, he had the right idea about Rimuru right now. Yet, with all his confidence, not even Yuki was stupidly bold enough to take on 3 demon lords and Cronoa simultaneously. He didn't need his instincts to tell him that retreating was the best option. Now, though, this was different. The man standing in front of him was all the warning he needed, and once he realized that, Yuki resolved to handle matters with everything he had. Guy flashed a bemused smile. You think you can beat me? Well, kinda. I was planning to knock you out sooner or later anyway, so this is just accelerating the timetable a bit. Yuki's attitude quickly stoked the murderous ire of Rain and Misery, but they'd never open their mouths without their master Guy's permission. The Demon Lord was the absolute ruler, and any concern for his safety was therefore a sign of disrespect. Guy was a capricious Demon Lord, merciless to anyone he deemed not worth his time. Rain and Misery just barely earned the acceptance for themselves, but get on his bad side, and they'd be killed in an instant, no doubt. That was the clear difference in power between Guy and his maids. Laplace couldn't move. He was like a frog transfixed by a venomous snake. If he tried to assist Footman, Rain would certainly retaliate. It was 4 against 3, numerically speaking, but the yawning gap in strength was extremely cold comfort to him. He might be able to take on Rain and Misery alone, but with Guy around, he didn't stand a chance. Yuki seemed ready to take on Guy, but Laplace saw that as a foolhardy challenge. Forget it. Anybody but this dude. Or anyone but this dude. Cronoa was on another dimension herself, but this guy crimsons across my heart monster, I tell ya. This ain't even gonna be a fight. We can't run, but who knows how long the boss can hold out. I suppose that's gonna be the key to survival here. Laplace deserved praise for identifying even a small slice of Guy's potential force, but beyond that, his strength of heart, the ability to consider fleeing instead of collapsing to the ground heartbroken, demonstrated his true worth. He knew about Yuki's strength, but Yuki wasn't exactly, but Yuki was hiding exactly how much he had from them. Would it even work against Guy? Still, even if Yuki was no match for Guy, Laplace intended to rescue Footman, take Tyr, and get out of there. Yuki would no doubt pick up on this and give him a hand. That's how much Laplace trusted him. The only problem with this plan was that Rain and Misery were abnormally strong menaces themselves. They weren't careless enough to give Laplace an opening to save Footman. He hesitated to make any untoward moves against them. He wanted to find a way to rescue his friend, but the problem, it turned out, had a ready solution. Hey, let him go. The order came from Guy to Misery, who, of course, offered no resistance, immediately releasing Footman. Well, that was easy. Now I guess we got an escape route after all. Lapis was almost beginning to feel optimistic about his chances when things took a different turn. Don't worry. If you beat me, I'll let all of you go unhurt. Guy seemed to be contradicting himself. What did defeating him have to do with letting Yuki's group leave? It's hardly reassuring at all. Thus, distressed and depressed, Lapis decided to just watch the proceedings, praying for Yuki to win.
Real quick, Jim Flint, thank you for the 16 months, bud.
Yeah, thank you. I'm not in chat right now, but thank you very much. Yuki was the first to act. What's up?
Only Guy's primordials fear him.
Yeah, it's fair. Yuki was the first to act. His supreme confidence, driven by the firm belief that no magic or skills worked on him, led him to unleash a kick on Guy. It was a sharp, heavy kick that seemed to shift halfway, its trajectory veering in midair before finally landing hard on Guy's head, but it was Yuki's face that wound up wincing. Yeesh, you're so solid. His anti-skill worked against all things, penetrating the defenses of any foe, but despite being directly attacked, Guy stood there, totally serene and not demonstrating an ounce of pain. There was no trick or trap involved. It was just that Guy's body was more solid than Diamond itself. What's up?
No, he's starting to understand. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, oh.
It's literally, welcome to the party, pal.
Welcome.
Yeah.
To die.
You're starting with the strongest among them.
Well,
so far.
He's got his work cut out for him.
Yep.
It's like, what if you punched Beerus in the face and it did nothing?
Right.
I mean, it probably would do nothing because I'm just a human.
I'm gonna go fire Kamehamehas at the ocean.
Yep.
Alright.
I gotta do so many more to be able to make you move.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
How many Kamehamehas does it take to move Beerus?
Alright, anyway.
One. It was just that guy's body. Yeah. Was more solid than Diamond itself, and the mix of toughness and flexibility was truly an ominous threat. That's just how Guy was. That barely triggered an itch. Some battle this is. Humor me a little bit more, would you? Because otherwise, I'm killing all of you. With a smile, Guy conjured flames in his right hand. It was the elemental magic napalm burst, a searing fire reminiscent of a dragon's long twisting form. At a temperature of several thousand degrees, it could instantly vaporize any human being, and now those draconic flames are wrapping around Yuki's body. You're wasting your time with magic! Yuki shouted, trying to throw the self-satisfied Guy off guard, then leaped away, a chill running down his spine. Or you got some good instincts, don't you? Guy smiled as he asked the question, but Yuki was too busy rolling on the ground to answer, frantically trying to put out the flames. Anti-skill did work, and it did prevent Guy's spell from injuring him, but the magic fire, which should have immediately extinguished itself, simply kept on burning. Even worse, it consumed oxygen just like a normal fire. Left unattended, it would have starred Yuki's lungs of air and killed him. Holy shit. What felt like ages to Yuki was just a few seconds, that's why he took no damage. But if Yuki failed to notice and kept attacking Guy, that would have sealed his fate. He'd instead focus on putting out the fire, as ridiculous as it made him look. Engaging Guy's reaction, Yuki considered one possibility he sincerely didn't want to believe in. He hated to admit it, but he needed to check how feasible it was. So standing back up, Yuki asked the question, not really expecting an answer. Why didn't you follow up and attack me again? This isn't some kind of chivalrous duel. Quit playing dumb. You must have realized by now, right? I picked up on the secret to your powers. I knew it, mused the disgusted Yuki. His anti-skill was omnipotent, capable of annulling all forces, but when faced with the sort of arts that fuse magic together with skills, he couldn't cancel both at once. This was the only flaw to this skill, and therefore his sole weakness. Plus, no matter how much he could power himself up, Yuki was still just a human being. Perhaps he could generate antibodies to dispatch any poison attacks, but he couldn't go on very long without oxygen. This weakness, one created simply by being a living creature, made Yuki comprehend the extent of his disadvantage. Guy stood there, composed. See, there's this man I know who can cancel all forms of magic, but if we ever fought, I'd still win. Why? Because he can't cancel out anything besides magic, and as far as I know, there's no way to perfectly block the laws of physics in this world. Put all your focus on one point and you'll open up a hole somewhere else. Seems like your ability applies to skills as well as magic, but... He looked down upon Yuki, airing his thoughts instead of landing another strike. The detached, casual air was all carefully calculated. It'd be easy to kill Yuki after all, but that wouldn't be any fun. Instead, Guy wanted to break his heart and force him to admit defeat in his despair. He already had him worked out. Yuki's attack told him all about what made him unique, and he had come up with countermeasures. No matter how well he could dispel magic and skills, he was human, and thus imminently beatable. Humans were weak, sporting frail bodies laden with vulnerable points, and it wasn't even worth formulating a strategy for killing them. Even in terms of core physical ability, there was a wide gap between Yuki and the Demon Lord. With Yuki's kick earlier, Guy left only a single small barrier in place as he tried blocking it, but it didn't even leave a scratch. Look at their respective magical energies, and it was comical to compare them at all. Guy was on the level of a true dragon, and for him, it'd be simple to launch another magic spell while Yuki was busy dispelling the first. But just killing you on the spot would defeat the whole purpose of me showing up. Why don't you try entertaining me while I'm here? Guy lorded over Yuki and taunted him. Damn, cold-blooded.
Guy's just playing with his food, bro.
I kind of like this.
He's hot-blooded. It's funny because he's really cold-blooded.
This is literally, Ryuma. This is basically Diablo in season 2.
Mm-hmm.
This is Diablo going against Razen.
You're not even worth my left hand.
I mean, I guess he doesn't get the chance all that often to just kind of flex, but that's cool.
This is like Diablo had his.
He is relishing this.
Diablo had his chance to flex against Razen, and then he had his chance again in the movie. If you saw the movie, going up against Violet.
No, not yet.
And then, it's on Crunchyroll, so you can watch it. Yeah.
All right, I'm working down my list to Slime again. So
the Slime movie Scarlet Bonds is out on Crunchyroll now, so you can watch it.
Sweet.
Yeah. So there's that, and then now we've got Guy.
He sort of flexed on Guy, yeah.
Yeah, Guy is now flexing. Guy's flexing on
Yuki.
Yuki, yeah.
Because he figured it out.
I don't know
the so-called
why
genius.
I don't know why I'm suddenly like all yawns and shit, and it's like, bro, I haven't
sleepy.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm suddenly so sleepy. Like, wake the fuck up, me.
Reading is kind of relaxing.
Get your life together.
Yeah, wake up. Get your life
Wake the fuck up. It's already 12:30. Get your life together.
I mean, I woke up at like 6 this morning, but like I shouldn't.
Yeah, I might do it.
This much. Like I shouldn't be sleepy this early. Come on, man.
You got up pretty early. You got to bed early.
No, that shouldn't do it. I had a busy morning, but like that's about it. I tried to go back to sleep once I got back, but it didn't take. So we'll see. We shall see.
It'd be like that.
We shall
It
see.
do be like that sometimes, yeah.
It do.
It do. They don't think it be like it be, but it do.
But it do.
They do.
But it do.
Yeah.
All
Agreed.
right, let's continue.
Guy lorded over Yuki and taunted him. He wanted to corner Yuki, make him unleash his full powers, and only then would he utterly overwhelm him and claim victory. Yuki, meanwhile, could tell what Guy was thinking, painfully so, but he had no response. The breezy confidence vanished from his face as he coolly analyzed the situation and pondered a way to make out alive. He was a rare genius, and his genius-level brain told him that the difference in strength was cataclysmic, but he didn't give up, instead mentally groping for any and all alternatives. The only hope he found was that Guy took him so lightly. Yeah, with this much of a difference, I can see why he looked down on me, but he's also just a tad bit arrogant. Yuki still had some tricks up his sleeve. One was the supernatural ability he was born with, another was avarice, the skill he took from Maribel. The third was instigator, capable of creating skills on the fly as needed. Those he thought he could make it through. Not killing me when you had the chance was a real bad idea. Gathering his breath, Yuki turned back towards Guy. Well, just because you spotted a few of my abilities doesn't mean you're safe in order to order me around yet. This wasn't sour grapes. He really believed this. If an opponent became riled up and lost their cool, that made them more likely to commit an error. That was the aim behind his taunting, but as he verbally parried with Guy, he also ran his powers up and down his own body, powers he usually kept bottled up. The spiritual force flowed, focusing itself around his soul, and he was using it to enhance his physical body, from human to enlightened, and from enlightened to saint. It was an evolution, one that lifted him even higher than Hinata, and when it was done, Yuki stopped breathing. A full saint was equivalent to a spiritual life form. Hinata was still too much of a prisoner of her own physical body, but Yuki was already a level above her. Respiration was no longer required. Having disposed of his human weakness, Yuki was now striking a much stronger presence. He converted his energy stores to magicules. They were now closer to Leon's or Luminuses. The guy wasn't moved. What a disappointment, he said, wholly non-agitated. Is that your full power? Then we could duke it out a million times and you'd still never beat me. Yep, and in that case, let's have some fun. With Yuki's signal, the battle began anew, and then Yuki found out exactly why Guy was considered the strongest being.
Shit.
Well,
Bitch fucked
It's-
around.
I just-
now we
yeah,
found
I just
out.
kinda-
The
Yep.
more
I just kind of.
let's see. Today we're gonna find out how we can find out, and how
I
much
just
we can
imagine-
find out. The more you fuck
I-
around, the more you're gonna find out.
Mhm.
Imagines like this is Beerus versus Goku when they first meet, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, kind of.
Pretty much. Yeah. Okay.
Guy /
Beerus.
Rohan. Is that all you've got? God damn it. Shit stomp.
Oh yeah.
To be fair, yeah. All right.
Mm.
You done getting your
nothing
shit
but
together
just-
up there? Because I'm getting bored.
You're getting
I'm
bored.
bored. I'm bored.
bored.
You're
You're
boring.
boarding me, the god of destruction.
You're boring. All right, anyway.
Right.
Sorry.
I'm bored.
Nothing but despair ruled over the landscape. Yuki was now sprawled out on the ground before Guy's overwhelming power. Absolutely none of his attacks struck for damage. No petty tricks would work on him. Even Yuki's greatest attacks, moves he spent untold hours honing, failed to land a scratch upon Guy. God damn it! Yuki lacked the strength to so much as stand up. Turning towards Guy and cursing him was about the best he could manage, but his heart was still unbroken, something he deserved high praise for. Lapis had burned the battle into his memory, never blinking once. Makes no sense to me. Or it makes no sense to me. It ain't that the boss is a wimp. It's just that Guy's too much. Yuki was, indeed, stronger than Lapis imagined. He had some kind of eerie, supernatural force, and he used it to test out a variety of approaches with Guy, from simple throwing stones to fiery blast. Heavy pressure and spiritual interference all were lightly shrugged off. Even with over 30 times the muscle of an average human, even with attacks lobbed at hundreds of miles per hour, he was just just child's play to Guy. Not even anti-skill, the keystone of Yuki's defense, could fully disable Guy's magic. That's not going to work on me any longer, you know. As he warned, Guy had apparently found a way through anti-skill. It was a shocking revelation for Yuki. Kozlim and Clayman had taught him much about the Matt Clayman, yes.
Matt Clayman. Matt
Yeah.
Clayman.
Matt
Clayman.
Yeah. Had taught him much about the 10 great demon lords, including the fact that Guy and Milim boasted another echelon of power. But not even these advisors could have known just how much of a gap there really was. They never would have endorsed his world conquest fantasies. So, well, yeah. Well,
Dang.
too bad, so sad. Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Yep.
Bye.
So, this is what a catastrophe level guy is like. It was well after the fact, but now Lapis realized there are things in this world that
Oh,
must never
I
be
get it.
prodded.
It's
Do you?
because his name's Guy. It's funny. It's a pun.
Eh,
Yeah.
eh.
It's hilarious. Laugh with me.
Smash.
I'm laughing, you're laughing, he's laughing, we're all laughing. Good. Yeah.
Table
he
laugh. We
left,
killed
he
the
left
table.
half. Yeah, we killed the table. We shot the table.
Yeah. Yeah. Even he had some powers he kept secret from his own friends, but they were meaningless before an opponent like Guy. That showed how overwhelming a foe he was. No tactic imaginable could bring this demon lord to his knees. Even Yuki, a man clearly more powerful than Lapis, was helplessly toppled as if he were an infant. At this point, escaping alive was next to impossible. Someone, Lapis concluded, would need to make the ultimate sacrifice, but he kept up his usual calm demeanor as he took a step towards Guy. Yep, I'd expect nothing less from the great demon lord Guy Crimson. We're the moderate jesters, you see, kind of a jack-of-all-trades outfit, and our boss, Mr. Yuki here, I mean, hired us for some assorted odd jobs. So now that he's been defeated, we're not really under any obligation to continue serving him. Lapis, what are you? It was incredibly petty, but Lapis seemed ready to betray his friend at that moment. He didn't really know Guy personally, but the demon lord's selfishness and arrogance were the stuff of legend. He had no interest in the weak and refused to so much as talk to anyone that he didn't consider worth his time. Taking this attitude towards Guy all but ensured Lapis' instant death, but it was also guaranteed to turn Guy's attention towards him, and Yuki could doubtlessly use that opening to make good on his escape. It was a chance Lapis was willing to bet on. The one absolute rule among the moderate jesters was to never betray your friends, and especially not your client. That was why Lapis believed Yuki would immediately understand his intentions. Flimen had a temper intended to act before thinking, but his friends were always on his mind. Tyr, meanwhile, was stronger than Clayman, but so timid that she shied away from exercising her full force. Both of them had a tendency to get carried away, but they could be trusted to take care of Yuki. Thus, Lapis decided to sacrifice himself. I just want to help you, Mr. Guy, sir, so could you at least spare my life? He couldn't have announced his betrayal more clearly. Footman and Tyr acted confused. Guy showed Lapis a bemused grin. All right, gotta keep angering him. Lapis had no intention of dying. He knew he didn't have much hope against Guy, but maybe there was a way to get out of this alive. Unless he didn't hesitate to speak once more, but before he could. No need to force it, Lapis. Oh man, do I really look that helpless to you? It was Yuki who spoke, staggering to his feet. Yuki was prepared to die. But at the same time, he could feel insatiable resentment filling his heart. He was disappointed in himself, and it riled him, and Lapis' words only deepened his anger. No way Lapis would ever betray him. This was all an act, he correctly surmised. A performance made because he trusted in Yuki, despite his cavalcade of blunders, that made him as happy as it did sorrowful. If I had even more power. The thought bubbled up from within his heart of hearts. It was a desire nobody could ever answer, but something deep inside him reacted.
You want power? Then take my hand.
Huh? Yuki was confused for a moment. He wondered if his mind was playing tricks on him, but the voice was far too clear and distinct for that.
Let me take over, and you'll score the most powerful force imaginable. Even world conquest would be easy as pie. I think if you took my hand, now make your choice.
The voice's offer made Yuki extremely uncomfortable. Shut up! I'm me, all right? You're not my friend, and I'm not cheap enough to achieve my goals with the help of someone I don't even know. He couldn't have been clearer. Yes, to him, an ambition this big only gained meaning because he'd fulfill it himself. It was a stance Yuki refused to budge on.
Yeah, that's
Bitch,
the
I'm
avarice.
handing you Super Saiyan God.
I'm pretty sure that's the avarice skill talking to him. Yeah.
Well, the voice fell silent, apparently unsure what to say, and to Yuki, the voice was gone. It no longer mattered to him. Desperate though this moment was, something else weighed on Yuki's mind. Guy, it seemed, had some kind of purpose for him. That might have just been because he wanted to enjoy this battle with Yuki, but there had to be some other reason. Or some other reason. He did say he wasn't a fan of Ludora gaining any more war power, but turn that around, and if Yuki didn't side with Ludora, let alone the Eastern Empire, then perhaps there would be no reason to kill him and his friends. And as for why Guy didn't kill Yuki right then, eesh, that couldn't overpower him at all. But from here on out, it'll be a battle of wits, won't it? Rather than forcing such an awful role upon Lapis, I've got a much better chance if I do this myself. Yuki roused his spirits and got back to his feet. Some more ellipses. Brushing his bangs out of his face, Yuki smiled defiantly in spite of the desperate situation. Yeah, I never thought you'd be that powerful, but now that I fought you, I'm sure of it. You don't want to kill us at all, do you? What makes you think that? Well, I mean, if you really wanted to, you could have massacred us a long time ago. So why did you keep beating me within an inch of my life, but no further? Yuki couldn't have sounded more confident with a question. Anyone would think it'd be an incredible, reckless thing to do, facing an opponent like Guy, who had just demonstrated such impenetrable might, but Guy still seemed entertained. Oh, you noticed. Well, you don't need to know why. Yuki shrugged at this denial, but he expected as much, so he calmly moved on to step 2. Okay, I've got an offer for you then. An offer? Yeah. If you let us go, I think we can help you out a little. Help me out. Right, I guess you don't want us cooperating with the Eastern Empire, but I'd like you to reconsider that. Go on. What I mean is, if we're trying to conquer the world here, then sooner or later we're gonna have to fight the Eastern Empire, and I just spent the past however many minutes learning how strong you are. I can feel it in my bones. I think it goes without saying that I don't plan to challenge you for a while to come, okay? So it'd be more natural for me to head over to the Empire and take it down first, right? This was coming completely out of left field. It left Footman and Tyr in the dust, certainly, and Lapis simply stood there as well, helplessly confused. He had just hatched a plan, was all but ready to die for it, and Yuki, his one lifeline, had stomped all over it. Now he thought it was solely up to Yuki's negotiations. The ball was in his court, but his fearless attitude gave Lapis an unstoppable cold sweat down his spine. It's crazy. The premise is just crazy. So why is Guy enjoying this? Lapis was right. Something about Yuki's offer made Guy grin ominously. Are you still trying to challenge me? Of course. I'm looking to conquer the world, remember? And I can't win against you right now, but I'm gonna surpass you someday. You'll see. As roughed up as he was, barely able to keep himself upright, Yuki remained defiant. He maintained his bold stance as if the thought of being killed for his insolence had never occurred to him. Against someone like Guy, this was absolutely the correct tack to take. If you foolishly tried begging for your life, he'd immediately lose interest, and all that awaited you next was destruction. May not have realized it, but Yuki had made the best choice possible. And if you topple the Empire, would that benefit me in some way? Yuki braced himself. They were at the crux of this discussion. He returned Guy's piercing gaze and nodded emphatically. That's right. I don't know why yet, but you don't want the Empire to conquer the West either. Am I wrong? Guy and the Empire, or the Emperor Ludora, had some history. That much was certain. It all came down to this. Yuki pleaded his case, mixing in a bluff or two. And I've got a lot of enemies to defeat, you know. Yes, I want to lend a hand to the Empire for now, but I'm not going to affiliate myself with it. I'll eat away at it from the inside, and I'll use it for my own goals. I see. So the Empire shares a goal with you. You'll help, but beyond that, there's no telling what will happen. And you're thinking about borrowing the Empire's forces to take down Leon and Rimuru, aren't you, you bastard? Guy sharpened his eyes upon Yuki, seeming to see through everything. There was no taking back what Yuki said. Guy and Leon's relationship was a mystery to him. And there was no way he'd know what Guy thought of Rimuru either. He couldn't know how his words would be construed, but still Yuki made no effort to hide his ambitions. That's right. I'll conquer them all, and then I'll beat you last, Demon Lord Guy Crimson. He deliberately made himself sound as brazen as possible. The rest was up to Guy's judgment. Following Laplace's lead would have gotten us killed anyway. Sorry, man, but you're gonna have to play my game instead. He silently apologized to his comrades. It was all or nothing, and Yuki was nothing if not greedy. He was making a dangerous bet. He was going to survive. He wanted everyone else to as well. But the bet paid off. The moderate gestures, you said. Your ambitions certainly are a joke, aren't they? A joker card meddling with all the other pieces in our game. I like it. You're making a pretty convincing offer. You've got courage, at least. And for that, I'll let you go this time. Yuki never did find out what Guy's mission was. All he knew was that he and his team were safe. Rain and Misery voiced no complaints about the decision. As Guy proclaimed, Yuki and the Jesters left the scene without further incident. Once Guy was no longer in sight, Yuki and his group headed for the rendezvous they had arranged with Kagali's team. They assumed they were safer now, but nonetheless, everyone wanted to get out of there as soon as possible. The moment they sighted Kagali waiting for them, Laplace turned to Yuki and spoke. Are you kidding me? I can't believe this. All those declarations you made to a living monster like Guy. And, added Tyr, you even made him let us all go. I thought we were done for back there. Ho ho ho. Well, I believed in the boss from the start, said Footman. You weren't thinking a damn thing the whole time, retorted Laplace. he was fucking on the ground, so I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, you're unconscious. You couldn't think of anything.
Yeah. Yuki cast Laplace a sidelong glance and then sat down on the ground, exhausted. What do you want from me? It was the only way we might have gotten out of there alive. And it worked, too. So I don't want to hear any complaints about it, okay? The damage he suffered was far more emotional than physical. He went to lie down right there, limbs spread out, and closed his eyes. Yeah, Saiyan pride. Yeah.
His body and spirit were hurt, but his pride was damaged most of all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's keep
Body
going.
language indicating he'd tolerate no further argument. Left with nothing else to do, Laplace and Tyr explained matters to the oblivious Kagali. He fought with Guy? I'm amazed you lived to tell the tale. Her first reaction was abject surprise. It didn't take long for it to turn into sheer exasperation for Yuki. Ah, thought Yuki, as he felt the breeze against his cheek. It's great to be alive. And then he had another thought. That mystery voice he had heard beckoning in the middle of battle. What was it? A split personality of mine or something? No, that's ridiculous. But hang on. I don't think there's some hidden power within me, although I can think of one possibility. His thoughts had taken him to a power he had obtained just recently, the unique skill Avarice.
Mhm.
With it, he figured, the more he desired something, the more greater his powers would grow. Nothing he threw at Guy in battle had any effect, including Avarice, the strongest of the sin-based skills. This skill's a total mystery. When it comes to magic and skills, I guess, you can always find something better than what you got, huh? Guy's magic overwhelmed my anti-skill. I need to figure out how that worked. Considering Yuki's sheer confidence, getting so easily defeated by Guy came as a shock, but Yuki wasn't about to give up. He had survived, and he needed to think of a plan for next time. His ability to turn the page like that was part of what made him such a powerful foe. He truly believed he'd obtained power beyond any demon lord, that he was the strongest of all, and if he wasn't, with enough research and the right strategy, he could defeat any opponent. With a backup provided by Kagali, Lapis, and many others, he had created a decent-sized force for himself. All was going well, but he had experienced nothing but failure lately, and now, that day's encounter with Guy had utterly shattered his confidence. But that was, in its way, a stroke of good luck. This has gotten so exciting, and that's how a game works, right? The more difficult it is, the more impassioned you get. Yuki wasn't fazed one bit. Already he was deliberating with himself. Even with Initiator, Yuki couldn't read Guy's abilities. Given its unusual propensity for creating its own skill sets, Initiator should be easily able to analyze a target's unique skills. The opponent would have to actually use the skills for it to work. But Yuki believed that, faced with his powers, nobody would go around hiding their hand. But it hadn't worked on Guy, and at this point in time, that meant his opponent's skills were something beyond even unique. He wanted power, more power, enough to defeat Guy with. Deep in his heart, the flames of greed roared high. It must mean there's a chance I can still evolve my Avarice skill. Lord knows I'm greedier than anyone out there. If I can give it some of that greed. Reaching that conclusion filled Yuki with a nervous excitement that made him tremble. He thought about it a bit. Losing to Guy reminded him of the unfairness of the world. He wanted to resist it and emerge victorious. That was his prime desire. He closed his eyes, turning toward the voice deep inside him. His consciousness sank deep into the furthest recesses of his mind.
Willing to join hands with me now?
No, not that.
So why are you here?
I have an errand for you.
An errand?
Yep. I thought you could give me your powers.
Don't be silly.
I'm not. I'm serious.
What kind of stupidity is...
Sorry. You're in my way. The next moment, Yuki pictured his desires until there was nothing else left in his mind's eye. He all but begged for the realization of his true goals, using his powerful will as a weapon that bowed to no one. He was challenging himself to battle, and then the world language rang out loud.
Confirmed. Condition satisfied. The unique skill Avarice has evolved into the ultimate skill, Mammon, Lord of Greed.
Yuki opened his eyes, defiantly grinning. Then he spoke softly, too softly to be heard. I'll be sure to make good use of your power. That day, that moment, that location marked the birth of the world's most heinous Magicborn.
Hey, Chapter 1.
Eh.
Moon!
Made
Take
it.
us into Chapter 1.
Yep.
My moon!
Made it.
It's time for the infamous meeting we've all been waiting for.
Oh boy. I returned home the day our musical exchange program came to a close. Venom and the rest of the security detail weren't hurt. Neither were Baton and his orchestra. In fact, everyone was safe. So I gave the kids who were under Diablo's protection a week off. They weren't physically injured, but better safe than sorry. The experience certainly taught them the difference between training and real battle. I'm sure, and it definitely seemed to blunt their usual bubbly personalities. There might have been some mental trauma involved, so I told them to take a good rest. As for Luminous and Leon, we all decided to hold a meeting in due time. We had trouble agreeing on a location, but ultimately we settled upon Rimuru, the capital of Tempest. Luminous's empire of Lubelius would have its hands full rebuilding for a while, and Leon's domain of El Dorado was apparently dealing with its own heavy stuff at the moment, and wasn't in much shape to accept foreign VIPs. Whew, pardon me. Tempest, for the time being, was in the clear on the count. On that count, and I had no reason not to make the offer. Hell, we already had 2 demon lords living there anyway. I recalled the winged Ramirez and the freeloader Dino as I gave the go-ahead to Luminous and Leon, who wound up arriving in Rimuru the next day, leaving me 0 time to relax and unwind. Leon made a stop back home to prepare before coming along. I thought this was needlessly quick, but he and Luminous wanted to compare stories and get working on ideas first thing. I had my own questions for them as well, so I indulged them on that. We met at my most ornate reception hall. Luminous, Leon, and me. Since it was just us 3 demon lords, I figured it was only appropriate to show off a bit. Only those involved with the Farkas and Lubelius were invited.
Fracas.
Fracas. I wanted to hear everyone's story, and then I decided just how much I'd divulge about Chloe. Things being what they were, we had a tacit agreement to keep all this secret from the rank and filers in our respective forces. Thus, I was accompanied only by Shion, Diablo, and Veldora. I really wanted to keep Veldora out of there. He'd get bored halfway through, I knew. So I just wanted him to hang in his room for me. But for some reason, he was adamant about coming, bellowing, "How could I not participate in this?" and all. If that's how far he was willing to go, I had little choice but to reluctantly agree. Shion, meanwhile, should have been recuperating from what were demonstrably serious injuries. But she was right as rain in almost no time. Ultra speed regeneration really ain't no joke. Once again, I was reminded of how downright scary it was. So I was standing side by side with Diablo, Shion right behind me. Hinata was seated next to Luminous. Louis and Gunther accompanying them at the rear. Behind Leon were 2 knights, Arlos and Cloud, standing bolt upright. After that, there was only Chloe, the star of the show. She was back to her usual young self, but I figured we should treat her as a grown-up. I had a long, rectangular conference table set up in the chamber, and 6 padded seats put in place for us. Veldora and I sat adjacent, directly facing Hinata and Luminous, and Leon and Chloe scored the in spots. It was time to kick off this impromptu Demon Lord summit of sorts. First, I had Chloe explain things, going over what happened in Lubelius, while Hinata added the occasional comment or two. The story was, to put it lightly, unbelievable under normal circumstances, but after the metaphysical experience I'd had, I was completely willing to accept it. And so, thanks to Hinata and Rimuru's aid, I managed to escape from my infinite cycle of death and rebirth. That's a child saying that.
Yep. A grown-up
Once
child.
Chloe wrapped things up. Oh, yeah. Once Chloe wrapped things up, everyone looked ready to respond as they gauged one another. Veldora, never one to read a room, kicked off the debate. So the hero who sealed me away back then was... That's not particularly important, is it? I certainly didn't think so, but then Hinata replied, that was me. Now we're tied 1-1, aren't we? Isn't it nice getting to taste defeat for a change? What? Oh, do you have a problem with that? Because I'd be happy to play a tiebreaker right now. Very well, if you insist. I shall tap upon my true forces. Well, this sure wasn't getting us anywhere. The normally cool as a cucumber Hinata always turned extra petty around Veldora. Guess I'd have to step in. Okay, that's enough. You can tackle that question when you're alone, guys. It's vital that you show that... Wait, that's Luminous.
That's Luminous, yep.
Yes. It's vital that you show that foolish dragon some discipline, Hinata. Luminous chided. Should you challenge him, be sure to inform me. I will gladly provide assistance. Quit fanning the flames, Luminous! Look, I said, changing the subject. All's well that ends well, okay? But what I'm wondering about right now is, I got killed, didn't I? So was someone from the Empire behind that? To me, anyway, this was a vital question. The Empire was acting as suspicious as ever at that moment. If that was about to become open hostility, we needed to be on our guard. Probably, Chloe replied. And I think the same person killed Hinata as well. The Empire had a pretty capable fighter on its side, so maybe you guys all took them on at once or something. I didn't see the light that cut through Hinata, though. Ah. Well, if someone out there managed to kill Hinata, then whacking me before I became a demon lord didn't seem outrageous. I've evolved into a demon lord, but that's no reason to let my guard down. It may have been a different axis of time, but if someone's killed me once, then of course I was going to be on the lookout for him. If we wound up facing off against the Empire, I'd have to watch out. That's a good idea, said Chloe. The Empire is a lot more dangerous than you think, Rimuru. Veldora went berserk after you were killed, but the Empire repelled him too. During this Veldora battle, Hinata was murdered, and then Chloe was sent back in time. The memories of what happened after Hinata's murder existed within Cronoa's mind, but only in bits and pieces. Chances were, though, the enraged Veldora and Cronoa clashed with each other, and then the Empire made its move in the midst of all the chaos. We all saw what Cronoa could do, so we knew that simply joining a fight with her involved was pretty amazing already. It could be, was likely even, that the Empire's war power was way beyond what we'd assumed. Luminous and Leon seemed to agree with that. We were all starting to see the Empire as a dangerous threat, but as the reception hall began sinking into a gloom, Veldora went off on another wild tangent. I find it hard to believe I'd simply go insane, he said, sneering. The reaction across the room was unanimous. Are you kidding me?
I love the look
Running.
that Diablo, Shion, and Rimuru are all giving Veldora.
Oh, is there a picture?
There is a
Yeah.
picture.
Fucking picture. I love it. I haven't gotten to that yet.
Like,
Hold on.
It's like
Yeah.
it's really, yeah, 100% like really.
Yeah.
Really?
yeah, like,
These three. I love Diablo's face too. It kind of makes him look like his eyes make him look like a little bit of an insect almost.
Yeah, kind
an
of.
insect. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got those bug eyes.
hmm
All right.
And then the
Running-
other two just have the exact same face.
All right, continuing on.
Sorry.
Running his mouth in the midst of this weighty discussion like a
Golfer.
golfer teeing up. Yeah.
Yeah, a
Golfer
gopher.
teeing
A
up.
gopher. Yeah.
Well, it had to be Veldora, I suppose.
I was gonna do the
Yeah,
golf
who
clock
is
there. I'm
this?
like,
Oh.
Wait! Why are you looking at me like that? A gentleman like me would hardly lose his temper so catastrophically.
No.
If I may.
Gentleman's a strong word for you,
Yeah,
Veldora.
yeah.
Very strong.
If I may, you definitely went on an extended rampage long ago. And if it's easy to imagine you in that state. But hey, maybe in this other timeline, he killed me after I resurrected him, which then sent him off on his violent rage. Because honestly, that scenario gave me some warm fuzzies.
And then there's the picture. I'm sorry. Is there a way we could make this the thumbnail or some iteration of this? Can we modify this for the thumbnail for this stream?
No.
Is that
Yeah, I'll
possible?
make that face.
Aw.
No, it's not.
Damn, that sucks.
We're already on the edge with just like using the thumbnail we already use.
hmm
Yeah.
All right, I said, smiling a bit as I assuaged Veldora. Let's leave it at that for now. The Empire is dangerous, we concluded, so it was time to move on. Next came the memories of Cronoa as far as Chloe could recall them. After the Empire defeated Veldora, the world plunged into a great war. East pitted against West. It dragged along, the Eastern Empire holding the advantage, and in the midst of this, Milim made her move. My death must have antagonized her against the Empire, and she wasn't afraid to demonstrate her hostility. That made Guy intervene, and once again, we had Milim versus Guy, the world's worst possible matchup. Dagrill and Luminous also clashed on the battlefield, apparently spreading the flames of war further. At this point, Cronoa fought against someone and lost her life. She had sped into battle, fighting as far as her spirit could take her. All that remained was her will of destruction, so she was mowing down the big and powerful left and right. As a result, she didn't remember who finally bested her. And only so many people have what it takes to beat Cronoa, huh? Guy, I'd imagine. It could only be Guy. Luminous and Leon immediately replied to my musing, and I agreed with them. We didn't know how the fight between Guy and Milim panned out, but really, Guy was the only person capable of killing Cronoa. Or maybe not, for all we knew. We had no idea what Guy's motives could have been. So, what made Cronoa so supportive of me then? Despite what Chloe told us, I still didn't see how Cronoa and I were connected. She was resurrected after I died. We never would have met each other, but clearly she had a thing for me. I may not be too quick on the uptake, but even I would notice that much. And that was true from the very beginning, wasn't it? She even gave me a big hug and a kiss after I summoned her for Chloe. Why all that the first time? I'd thought, but I suppose Cronoa had her reasons. Well, because you saved me, Rimuru, Cronoa said, finishing Chloe's thought. In the future world where all I did was rampage, you were the one who saved me. I'm sure of it. Hey, I was about to say that. Oh, let me at least tell him that much. I'm you as well, after all. So it's the same thing, isn't it? To the outside observer, it looked like Chloe had a particularly flashy multiple personality disorder. Apparently, Cronoa butted into conversations whenever Chloe let her guard down. I'm sure they both had a lot to get used to. The two of them proceeded to take turns talking. According to Chloe's, or Cronoa's, memory, I apparently wasn't so dead in the future after all. The Empire defeated me, we were certain of that, but it looked like I managed to come back to life somehow. Which, neat, I guess. I can't speak for myself, but my faithful friend Raphael would never make a mistake. It sounded like Raphael took its damn time, but in the end, it still found a way to keep me alive. By that point, though,
Hey, look
the
here,
world had changed
motherfucker.
profoundly.
Look, what took you so long there, Raphael? What happened?
You know what?
It's like, look, I needed a break from you.
You know what? I just needed 5 minutes where you weren't naming everything you laid your eyes on.
What is he, Zeus? But instead of laying with everything, he's naming everything?
Yeah, instead of fucking everything, you're just naming everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same difference.
Which you might as well be fucking me over from it.
Yeah, right?
So you might as well be Zeus.
But like, come on, man. It takes a long time to just patch your soul back up.
Do you have any idea? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Veldora was gone, Tempest was in ruins. A massive war had erupted between East and West, and demon lords were waging bloody battles for supremacy over one another. In which case, I could pretty easily imagine my feelings about the whole situation. I'm me, after all, and chances are I'd devote myself to tracking down anyone who survived.
Like,
Maybe I couldn't rescue everybody. But I could at least lend a hand to those I was closely connected to. That was just what I did, it turned out, and in the end, I found Chloe, Cronoa. Cronoa's recollections were too fragmented to answer the bigger questions, but either way, we had a grasp of the general flow. I ran into Cronoa, fighting her on multiple occasions, and I'm sure I managed to win her over again. But as Cronoa told me, the fate of the world was already sealed by then. As you all predicted, I fought against Guy. I don't remember the events leading up to that, but I'm positive Rimuru wasn't there. Then, just as I was about to die, Rimuru held me close, and the next thing I knew, I saw Rimuru and Chloe from the past. So Guy was there after all. That didn't surprise me. The question was what exactly happened before Cronoa's death. But I presumed that was where her journey back through time began. However, that still didn't adequately explain how she's arrived at Chloe's timeline. Maybe there was a chance I did something to engineer that. Had I evolved into a demon lord by that point? Yep. And you were even more powerful than you are now. Hang on. Can she tell that just by looking at me? I liked to think I was pretty strong at this point, but it was hard to believe. Cronoa would misjudge someone's prowess. I suppose losing my closest friends drove me to do some pretty wild stuff. Now, of course, none of this had any bearing on me at the moment, but we did have the Empire to think about. Maybe I should have viewed this more optimistically, like I still had room to grow, that sort of thing. Regardless, if I was stronger than I was now, my great sage must have made the transformation to Raphael by this time. If so, I could totally see it doing something wacky, like transmitting the memories from Cronoa's memory or spirit into the young Chloe. Huh. Can't deny it, huh?
It's like, ha!
And now I
Can't
felt...
deny it, huh? It's like
Okay.
accusatory. It's like, ha!
Ha! Can't deny it, huh? And now I felt I had a handle on what happened in the future. Hey, all's well that ends well, right? That's a pretty casual approach to it, to take. Hinata snapped. Or no, that's
like,
a snap.
That's a pretty
casual approach to take.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, don't be that way, I replied, giving the sneering Hinata a gentle smile. Chloe's just fine, as you can see, and Veldora's already been resurrected. All we gotta do is keep an eye on those two, and we won't have to worry about them going berserk. So the only problem left to deal with is the Empire, isn't it? Indeed, said Luminous. If Daggerel decides to attack me, I will take care of him. You saved Chloe for me. It is the least I can do to repay the favor. Luminous and Chloe really did seem to get along. Now my stock with the Emperor was skyrocketing. I suppose this meant we could enjoy an even better relationship than before. Daggerel's ambitions were one issue to tackle, but Luminous was willing to shoulder that burden without me having to ask, promising me she'd endeavor to keep the West peaceful. The Western nations were, technically speaking, part of Luminous's domain. There were some skirmishes with Guy's forces in certain areas, but that was more a pastime for Guy, nothing serious. Luminous must have concluded that it wasn't worth obsessing over. Instead, Daggerel was the bigger problem, and she had been on the lookout for a while, wondering when hostilities with him might break out. If we fought in the future, Luminous said, there is a good chance he'll take advantage of any moves the Empire makes. I wasn't so sure of that. Yeah, but Dagrel's sons are living here in Tempest, don't forget. Or, living here in Tempest, don't forget. I doubt he'd resort to force that readily. If Dagrel rolled into combat, there had to be a reason for it. Huh? Dagrel's sons? Is that true? Luminous demanded. Huh? Dagrel's sons? Is that true? Sure is. They're training hard under Shion at the moment, I replied. That they are, Shion briskly interjected. They have much left to learn, but they have started to earn their keep as of late. I've occasionally rewarded their efforts with some of my home cooking, and they cried tears of joy over it.
No.
I found it quite charming, I'll add.
Oh God.
Sure. Tears
rest
of
of feels-
joy? I don't know about that. I mean, sure, if a girl you have a crush on cooks for you, that'd make anyone happy. But that cooking had to be edible for one. But hey, if you could deal with its appearance and texture, Shion's meals had grown surprisingly consumable. So maybe we were good there? If they weren't complaining, it was nothing I needed to comment on. Let's leave it at that. Hearing that Dagrel's sons were in this nation made Luminous give me an astonished kind of look. But it was gone in an instant. She recovers fast. Then it is true, I suppose. Perhaps Dagrel was being coerced by another, but then... This is the future, so using the past tense is rather silly. He might be coerced by someone. A war would take place in the future, but at the moment,
You
things...
put the emphasis on the wrong word, but he might be.
He
coerced.
might.
Not might
Which-
be.
Yeah, but it's switching from
He might be
past to
coerced.
future.
Yeah,
So
but the
it's-
emphasis
yeah.
is still going to be on might. He might, might in the future. Yeah, it's like
Okay.
he might.
Might
be
makes right.
Yeah. Anyway,
He might be coerced by someone. A war would take place in the future, but at the moment, things were pretty peaceful. Dagrel must have had some reason to harbor dreams of territorial expansion. He didn't seem like that much of a villain when I met him at Walpurgis.
but let's not
Maybe
forget
I-
that the timeline has already changed from the future that they talked about already. Because at this point in time, Rimuru wasn't a demon lord.
Yeah, but they're not
Right.
thinking about that.
Yeah, so the Tempest of now, of this present, is already vastly different than the Tempest from before that Cronoa had been talking about. So we're already talking about two vastly different timelines at this point. So, yeah.
Also, wasn't Rimuru dead at this point?
Yes.
Or is it a little later on? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was already dead. So Rimuru's very much alive, and Rimuru's already a demon lord.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd chat with Dagra and his brothers to see what I could find out. If there was some kind of problem, I'd be happy to talk about it. That'd be fighting a war over it any day. That'd beat fighting a war over it any day. Right. I'll investigate that on my end. I'll hold you to that. I have no interest in fighting a futile war, after all. So we decided to examine the Dagrel issue and make a decision later. It sucked to have him working in tandem with the Empire, so just in case, Luminous would keep a close eye on him too. Lewis and Gunther nodded their approval, so I felt the task was safe in their hands. That leaves Guy to discuss. I'd like to talk about that if I could. There was no point complaining to Guy about what he would do in the future, but I still had my concerns. It was best, I thought, to explain matters to him as well. How deep I should go with him, of course, was another thorny issue. But Veldora suddenly jumped in.
Guy is an arbitrator. He's nothing to me right now, but long, long ago, I have a vague hunch, that he might have annihilated me, or something to that effect, or not at all even. It hardly counts if anybody remembers it, right?
Jesus Christ, Veldora.
I wasn't sure where to begin with this little confession. What did he mean Guy was an arbitrator? And they fought at some point in the past, and Veldora got annihilated? That was news to me. Also, having it not count because you don't remember it sounded like a dumb excuse, even for a young child. But I didn't want to dogpile on him, so I kept quiet. Huh, remarked Luminous. Guy has his wiser side, I see. An arbitrator. Leon paused a moment. Guy is certainly not allied with humankind, But he's not hostile to them either. If he killed Cronoa in the future, it's easy to surmise that Cronoa was little more than her will of destruction at that point, and Guy saw her as a threat to the world's continued existence. So, wait, yeah. So, what's this arbitrator stuff about? It seemed like I was the only one out of the loop. An arbitrator, Luminous explained, is part of a separate system from heroes and demon lords. Their mission is to prevent the destruction of the world. It is said they speak for Veldanava himself, the creator and Star King Dragon.
Veldora.
I think that's.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Indeed, the Star King, my elder brother, created this world, and he set up this system so nobody would go around ripping it apart.
Aha! And so Veldora was annihilated after trying to do... Aha! And so Veldora was annihilated after trying to do just that. Now it made sense. It proved that the true dragon definitely did wake back up at that point in the future. I wasn't so sure Veldora lost his memory of it, but I was better off not bringing it up. Who's speaking?
I think that's Rimuru.
Okay.
Wait.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it is.
Yeah, I think
So
it is.
that's how it is?
Yeah.
In that case, I don't
Granola.
think Guy's likely to target Chloe right now. Uh-huh. I mean, I remember Cronoa going crazy. Wait. No, I think this is...
This is
not-
still Chloe. Hinata and
Okay.
Chloe seem convinced as well. Yeah, so.
Okay, so, I remember Cronoa going crazy, and, I don't have any personal thing against the Demon Lord Guy, so... Hinata and Chloe seemed convinced as well, smiling as they chatted about this. As long as nobody went berserk, it seemed like we could avoid conflict with Guy. Well, in that case, should we let Leon discuss this with Guy? I asked. Right, Leon replied. My and Chloe's future are riding on this, after all. Hang on, Leon. You're not involved in this. Chloe, with all her innocent, childlike looks, could be downright Oh, okay. Hang on, Leon. You're not involved in this. Chloe, with all her innocent, childlike looks, could be downright scary when chiding Leon like that. I felt kind of bad for him. Leon was this really handsome, cool-looking dude, but I guess he got the villain treatment a lot of the time, as his entire relationship with Shizu attested to. But between his tongue-tied ways and knack for painting himself in a bad light, I felt like maybe he was just really misunderstood. To put it succinctly, he was like Masayuki, except the exact opposite. Oh, that's...
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
poor guy.
Mm.
Keep going.
Chloe treated him like a friendly neighborhood boy, a big brother-like figure. Nothing romantic, though. Apparently, Leon had always been popular with the ladies, and perhaps thanks to that, Chloe never picked up on the love he had for her. Thinking about it, I had to pity him. For once in my life, I decided to try showing him a little more kindness.
All right.
Rejected.
So there we
He's
are.
been friend zoned.
So I'd call this summit a success. Both demon lords had pledged to support me. We just needed to stay alert for the Empire, and beyond that, we'd each figure out the next moves to make. But right when I was about to adjourn, please, just one moment. He has guests. They're in the middle of an important meeting. Oh, I'm impressed that you spotted me barging in. But since I'm here at all, mind if I say my hellos? There was a clamor down the hall. That voice, that pompousness, it had to be Guy, the strongest of all demon lords. He had made it this far in without me noticing, and only a very small number of people could do that. Report. No signs of hostility.
I just imagine it's like, somebody wants to open the door.
Didn't notice all along. Now wasn't the time to debate about that, though. I hurriedly left my seat, but before I could even lift a finger, Diablo sneered and walked over to the door. I love this. This is like one of my favorite parts, so I'm just gonna do this. Opens the door. Yo! Go away.
Go away. Fuck.
I love it.
He concluded...
Yo, what's going on?
Go
Yo!
away. He concluded the short exchange by slamming the door in Guy's face.
Thank you, Diablo.
This was too much to handle. The rest of us froze on the spot. Oh, come on now, Diablo! I'll have none of that! Guy shouted angrily after opening the door once more. You are meddling in a vital summit. It has only been a day and our preparations are not yet complete. We would like to take our time discussing matters with you, so please do not come until you are invited. Diablo was trying to be polite, but he was acting damn sure of himself in front of Guy. Did they know each other, maybe? I wasn't the only one who thought so, judging by Luminous and Leon's surprised looks. Unbelievable, Luminous scoffed, not surrendering a single step to Guy, although I'd expect nothing less from Noir. What? Noir? Leon yelled. Why is someone so lofty in the service of Rimuru? The words I'm picking up do not portend good things for my future. Diablo's someone lofty? His head's in the clouds, yeah, but what's this Noir stuff? I love how all of this is going crashing.
Oh, he is
all right,
so
here it is.
Rimuru is just sitting.
This is
happening?
this is everything we've been waiting for, gang. Here it is.
Rimuru is just sitting there like, who the hell is Noir?
All right.
And everyone's just pointing at Diablo like, he's Noir? This guy? I mean, he's
All right, so
not even black.
as I sat there confused, things grew even more chaotic. So, Rimuru, are you all right? I just heard from my sister that... My lord, I felt the presence of the red. Oh, is this a war? Because if it is, I'm ready to fight. First, Benimaru rushed in. Oh, no, I'm sorry. All right.
Oh.
Took his line.
No, Soe, you have to say this next line.
Then Carrera.
Oh, wait, no, okay, we're good. Okay.
No, you are...
I see.
Okay, first Benimaru rushed in, then Soe, but behind the...
Right.
Okay, Soe didn't say a fucking
Okay,
word
gotcha.
because Soe's a goddamn ninja. All right?
Okay.
Behind them came Carrera, and at almost
Yeah,
the same time, Ultima came barreling in as well. It was nuts. Of course, the two demons would come rushing right the fuck
Everyone's
in.
just packing heat. Alright, ready to do this! Let's go, guys!
Let's fucking go!
All right, time to fight.
Give me
Come
a
on.
reason.
It's go
Give me a
time,
reason,
baby!
boy.
I'm waiting
It's
for
go
this.
time!
Mexican standoff. It's like, whoa,
Now
whoa,
it's time for an
whoa.
all-out attack.
Rimuru.exe has stopped working.
No, we need him working right now. We need him to cleanse the situation.
I love this. Oh my god, it's great. At
You
this
really
point,
wanted to
I
read
may as
this,
well
I
have
can tell.
allowed Guy inside instead of booting him. I had no intention of inviting him anyway. It looked like I'd have to discuss all this in detail with Diablo later. Now, though, I needed to restore order. Everyone calm down, and you step back too, Diablo. That finally made everyone settle down a bit. Once all was quiet, I continued. I hadn't planned this, but Guy, I actually have something to discuss with you too. If you're here and all, I might as well have you join the summit. You okay with that? Sure, perfect even. I need to talk to you too. I'd wanted Leon to handle him, but I guess we had a change of plans. With Guy's permission in hand, I then had to chase everybody else out of the room. Okay, there's nothing to worry about, all right? I'll call you guys if something comes up, so get back to work for me. Everyone looked amply relieved. I heard some unwelcome grumbling, such as, "Heh, the Red's done it again. I don't stand a chance against him, for now, and pff, I thought we could start bashing some heads." But overall, things were under control. The rest of the rabble were back at their posts. Shuna left to prepare some tea for those of us still in the reception hall. As she did, Leon spoke first. Now, what is the meaning of this? Why is Jean here of all people? Huh? I have a question as well, said Luminous. I presume the other one was Violet? But were my eyes playing tricks on me? I heard she was rather gloomy and spiteful, so I can't be entirely certain. Huh? Jean and Violet? What are these people talking about? Oh, wait.
Who?
Did you mean Carrera and Ultima? Diablo over there invited them, but they're actually a lot more talented than I thought. I was trying to explain things, but Leon and Luminous didn't let me finish. Carrera and Ultima? Did you give those two names?
Maybe?
This is...
Is that, what, was that bad?
This is
Did I do a bad...
priceless. This is so
Did I-
Yeah,
perfect.
there's like
This is what, I get, you wanted to read this super bad. I could have read this, but no, you wanted to read this.
This is everything I could have
No
hoped
way.
for. Guys, I needed to read this just for the catharsis of Raphael needing to say this, but like getting to say this is the other two characters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you name them? It was like, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow, was
Yeah, I
that,
kinda
was that,
did.
was that a bad
It
thing?
was like,
Was that bad?
Yeah. Meanwhile, in the background, Raphael's just sitting here like, I keep telling him not to name them.
What do you mean? No.
I've tried to tell
He's
him.
got like a sig.
But,
Like,
but it was Diablo's friends.
it.
Like,
I
how
keep
can I
telling
not
him
name
nothing.
them? They're part. They're
Demon
they're
Lord
sworn
Daxter,
service to
Demon
me. That's
Lords
part-
in unison.
Rimuru,
you dumbass!
I love
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Yeah, it's great. It's great. I love it. Yeah, it's good times. Good times.
It's like, can we unname people? Is that a thing? No.
It's good times. Man.
No.
It's good times. All right.
at the restaurant.
This dumbass named Primordials. Yeah, he did. All right.
Yep.
Oh man.
Simply unbelievable.
All right. Simply unbelievable. So Diablo wasn't enough for you? You've brought even more primals under your wing? Leon was on both feet and shouting. I wasn't shouting, sorry. Luminous looked completely out of sorts. Both of them fixed me with piercing glares. Yeah, isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
That's part... Okay, I love that this is Guy. He's like, yeah,
Oh,
isn't
okay.
it crazy? That's partly why I'm here, so I can
Yeah.
grill him about what he's up to. Even Guy was spouting nonsense at me. And I mean, what was I supposed to say? As I floundered for a response, Shuna brought in some tea on a cart. We all fell silent, not wanting to get in her way. A pleasant aroma filled the chamber, helping us regain our calm. My mind thus cleared, I tried reconsidering what everyone was saying. The key word here was primal, as stated by Luminous, and that meant, understood, it is one standard for describing demons. Right. I remembered having that explained to me. They were defined as the first demons and all that. Wait, the first demons. Diablo, you aren't one of the first demons or something, are you? Well, he replied casually. Yes, I am a leader of one of the 7 bands of demons among the firstborn into this world. Oh man. I had no idea the demon I summoned when I transformed into a demon lord was something this huge. I knew he was super powerful, but this was crazier than I thought.
I just imagine, like, in another version, he's just like, huh. I had no idea. Huh?
You
He was
Didn't
just
know
not so
that.
nonchalant about it.
Leon asked me. Incredible. Luminous scoffed. I always thought you had a screw loose, but not to this extent. Leon's and Luminous gazes were boring into me. But what could I say? If Diablo answered a summon as off the cuff as mine was, there was no way he could have been anyone that amazing. I think I even stunned
That's-
Raphael into silence. But Diablo's true identity wasn't the real shocker. Raphael seemed surprised that I didn't know about it myself.
Raphael? You okay?
I surprised Raphael. I suppose Raphael thought I knew all about the primal demons then. But hang on. I feel like Elmesia, the heavenly emperor of Thalion, mentioned something about primals as well. So that was why she warned me so much about them, because she picked up on who Diablo was!
Oh, so stupid. Our stupid little slime boy.
And I would have too if I paid a little more attention.
Ruh-roh. Well, I mean, they're here now, so...
This happens, you know? You get an idea in your head and you stick with it. I'm not going to investigate every little factoid I know, and I'm not going to bring it up with everybody I see. And as far as Raphael was concerned, there was no special need to tell me. What a pitfall. Having a dictionary on hand wouldn't help me if you never used it. Raphael had been giving me a lot of helpful advice lately, but not even it could understand what I didn't know. No matter how brilliant my partner was, it meant nothing if I didn't utilize him correctly. I sure learned my lesson about that today. Again.
Rimuru, don't throw Raphael under the bus. That's all you. Come on, man.
No, that's what he's saying.
That's
He
what he's
should have
saying.
asked
Okay.
Raphael for clarification.
Having the world's greatest
Yeah.
encyclopedia doesn't matter if you're a flaming moron.
If you don't use it,
Yeah.
Had the knowledge
Case
in
in
your
point.
pocket.
Case in point. Look how many people have the entirety of human history and the collective knowledge of human intelligence sitting in their fucking pocket, and yet are absolute fucking idiots.
I use mine for unwholesome reasons.
Hey!
Hey, everyone does that.
Yeah. Aren't you glad you don't
Pinky
live?
view.
Hey guys, aren't you glad you don't live in Utah?
Mm. Land of the
Wait, what
lost.
happened in Utah?
Oh, did you not hear?
I didn't.
You can't access Pornhub in Utah right now.
Well, VPN.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, VPN.
Who cares?
People Googling VPNs went up 100%. VPN access went up in Utah 100%.
That's.
I can go to Canada right
It's
now.
because of a
I have
stupid,
something for this.
It's because of a stupid state. That was really, really
God, my
loud.
heart.
Don't
Yeah.
do that again.
How? Why the fuck is it so loud for you guys?
I don't know.
I
but
thought I left
we've
the tab
told you.
open.
Here's the thing.
Oops, my bad.
Here's the thing.
Sorry, chat.
Here's the thing, guys.
And we're banned.
Guys, here's the thing. All right. There was a law that went out across the state saying that in order to access the site, you'd have to prove how old you were with a valid government ID. But Pornhub was like, that's really fucking wrong and unconstitutional. So they just
And can be very hackable very
it can be
quickly.
very hackable. And that's very dangerous. So Pornhub just literally just said, "Hey, that's dangerous to everybody in the sex industry, and that's dangerous to all of you." And they just put up a straight up, they just put up a video stating why they're blocking access to the site all across the state of Utah. Right?
I find that really funny.
So
You don't like it?
legit,
Don't live in. Don't be in
anybody-
Utah.
Oh my
So
God.
anybody in Utah that wants to access Pornhub basically has to use a VPN.
Either that
What
or
were
Utah's
they
about to become the
thinking
most
of?
pent up state.
No,
God.
literally just VPN access skyrocketed.
That's
The
hilarious,
state-
but just-
literally
just-
because statewide the entire state. The
Oh my
entire community of Utah just gave their government the middle finger.
Oh man, Surfshark's gonna take on a whole new
Which is
meaning.
hilarious. Which is hilarious when you think about it, because if it wasn't for prostitutes, Utah would not even be part of the United States.
Yep.
Yep.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
they're gonna
Dying
sit there and act like they're so
drinks.
pure and they're Puritans
And the
all
Wild
this shit.
West.
Wyoming and Utah would not be part of the continental 48 if it wasn't for
I just-
prostitutes.
What were they thinking? What was going
You
on?
are a
their
state.
minds?
You literally are a state because of the sex industry.
Were they were they thinking like everyone was going to be like, yes, I would like to watch one porn, please.
I would
Here
like
is
to-
my state government ID.
It's like motherfuckers, y'all should have known. Anyway,
What?
Anyway, let's get
This
back
seemed
to it.
like a bad
Let's
thing.
get
Go
back.
ahead.
Let's
Go.
get back to
Go.
let's get back to Rimuru's mental crisis.
Yeah, go.
I don't know. I feel like this is a mental crisis.
Yeah. So anyway. So here we are. All right. Ignoring my
Where were we?
surprise, Diablo began regaling the audience with the story of how he met me. Apparently, this extended all the way back to me encountering Shizu. She and Diablo knew each other, it turned out, and Diablo happened to be visiting this land when he picked up on the presence of Shizu in her final moments. The idea of Diablo being aware of me since back then was astounding, although I still had no idea what his motivations were. The lower demons in my family accused me of fleeing my post in order to serve Sir Rimuru, an accusation that wounds me deeply. But I took my time. I waited for just the right opportunity, and in the end, I successfully answered Sir Rimuru's call. Diablo flashed a contented smile. So him coming to that summon wasn't some fluke after all. It was inevitable because he planned it that way. I could feel a headache coming on from the shock. What's more, in another wild revelation, Diablo revealed that he was so jealous of Beretta that he planned to purge him without alerting me. However, as he dared to put it, since I created Beretta's body, he deemed it too much of a waste to damage it at all. This body was handmade by Sir Rimuru, Beretta had scolded him, and if you lay a finger on it, he'll be quite displeased. Truly, this was exhausting me. What a ridiculously long story this was. Someone, please stop him, I wanted to beg. But Diablo was talking a mile a minute, and nobody could get a word in edgewise, so I finally spoke up. Diablo! That's enough, all right? We need to continue the summit. Satisfied now? Guy added, backing me up. Enough about you, Diablo. That bum Dino's here, too, isn't he? Can you call him over for me? That was finally enough to shut Diablo up.
There's not enough Advil in the world to deal with you right now, Diablo.
No,
I fucking love this
my
scene.
bad, guys.
I love
What would your voice for Diablo be? I'm curious.
My voice for him?
Yeah, if you were cast.
I don't know. Just really not that much different than I usually do.
Then Soe.
If it's not too different.
Sir Rimuru,
If
it
it's...
seems I have been turned into a marketable figure.
All right.
Am I kawaii enough for you?
I will bring
Yeah.
I will bring Sir Dino over at once, Shuna said, bowing and taking advantage of her chance at long last to leave, or escape, I thought.
Oh, yeah.
My heart about ready to give out on me. But I was getting to the good part. Diablo looked eager to continue, but
please,
everyone
no.
ignored him. If we let him prattle on, there was no telling what he'd say next. Keeping him quiet right then would do wonders for my blood pressure.
Oh, that's what we need medication for?
Slide,
Okay.
Slide.
Slimes have blood pressure?
Maybe
His
as a human, I
slime
don't know.
pressure, maybe.
Slime pressure.
You know, I could bleed.
Anyway, somewhere in the midst
Yeah,
of all
bleed.
this, Guy had sat down in a chair. Leon's attendants had brought a seat over from the adjacent waiting area for him. Ah, how thoughtful of you, he said. Arlos and Claude nodded their appreciation behind Leon. They must have known Guy from before. Otherwise, I'm sure they'd be too scared of offending him to move at all. I suppose I should have arranged something for Guy, but my brain was running on empty. Having this pair of knights around was a godsend. For all I knew, I could have pissed Guy off without even realizing it. Besides, the secretary who should have been backing me up was too busy talking his head off, and Shion was frozen by my side in classic not my problem power move. Sorry to make you handle that, I said to the two knights. No need to worry about it. We understand your situation, Lord Rimuru. You're busy trying to shoo people away from this chamber, aren't you? Allow us to handle this much for you. Arlos and Claude were really nice. Diablo and Shion could learn a lot from them. Guys, can you try to be as considerate as those two over there, please? I had perhaps grown a little too impassioned. Diablo seemed ready to pin the blame on Guy's unexpected appearance, but yeah, maybe this was just an unlucky break for him. Normally, he'd never overlook something like that. Duly noted, sir. Shion, on the other hand, was the ever-obedient student. Great at saying yes, teacher, but not at much else. I could only pray the knowledge would stick. So Guy sat down, acting as pompous as ever. As he did, Shuna came back in with Dino. And Ramirez, too, for some reason. And before long, the summit was back in session. Our first topic was the primal demons. So, Dino, you got an excuse for us? Guy asked. Excuse? For what? Dino's reply came too naturally. It only riled Guy further. Don't give me that crap, you! Why didn't you stop him from naming the three of them? Yeah, that was important, right? By him, I suppose Guy meant me, but look. If I'd known these three were such bad news, I would have never thought about assigning the names, okay? Or them names, okay? It was kind of too late now, but I wished I'd had some warning at least. Look, why in the name of all that's unholy do you think I sent you here in the first place? Sightseeing? No! This is a reconnaissance detail! Reconnaissance, you hear me? I love that.
Reconnaissance!
I love that this whole conversation is literally just Guy having an existential breakdown. He's just losing his shit.
Wait a minute, you sent Dio to spy on me?
Oh, come on. That's not even... He knew that. He knew that's what it
yeah.
was. Yeah, that's not even hiding it.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
At 4 o'clock,
Well, I mean, you can say
the
that for
Forest of
everyone.
Pure will be...
Watching this exchange, I realized that even Guy had his own struggles. I had a hunch about this, but it turned out Dino was a spy after all. Although I wish Guy didn't have to say so outright in front of him. And you! Don't act like you're not involved in this! Oh, and now Guy was taking it out on me? Great. Didn't seem fair to be yelled at by the person spying on me, but I supposed I was the cause of this too. I suppose that I was the cause of this, so to speak. I wanted to plead my case, but, you know... eh.
Yeah.
But a reflexive reaction wasn't a smart move. This was Guy, after all. Inviting his ire upon me was never a smart idea. Why are you getting worked up over such trifles, Guy? He's got quite a long history of naming people willy-nilly, you know.
Although we don't
for a
need you
change-
standing.
Veldora, for a change, actually stepped up to defend me. I gave him a subliminal attaboy. Silence, you child! The adults are talking. Right.
Ooh.
Ooh.
You in trouble?
But a few choice words from Luminous shut him up. He could dish it
Oh.
out, but he sure can't take it, huh? And now the whole room was aware of that. Still, at least his contribution pointed Guy's ire away from me momentarily. I seized the opportunity to launch an offensive of my own. Okay, so Dino came here to keep tabs on me then. I'll refrain from complaining about that for now. But it's true that Dino's at fault for not stopping me, and the person who trusted him enough to send him on that mission has some responsibility as the supervisor, doesn't he? Don't you think so, Guy? Spreading the responsibility in so many words, I wasn't about to shoulder all the blame here, so I tried to hand some of it back over to Dino and Guy. The former was clearly at fault, so all that remained was to rope the latter in, too. He's right, Guy. Besides, I told you, I can't watch over him. I can't believe you actually thought about making me do work. Dino must have been pretty quick on the uptake because it looked like he immediately picked up on my plan. And on the bandwagon he went. I swear, you people. Guy was frustrated. I took pains not to rile him further, feeling around for a landing point. Besides, Dino continued, I never even had any time to stop him. You know, when I saw Rimuru bringing the primals over, I was so surprised that I couldn't even speak. I mean, like, 3 of them. Diablo was always kind of a weirdo, so I could understand him. But can you imagine Testarossa working for somebody? For someone? Nobody could. True enough. Oops, sounded like Dino was trying to wriggle his way out of this. Guy was about to accept it, too. I didn't like how this was going.
Uh-oh.
Listen, guys. What?
Is Guy about to notice that Testarossa is a new name?
Oh, no. He knows about all 3.
Yep.
Oh, no.
Okay.
He knows about all 3 because...
He just didn't realize the extent of Rimuru's idiocy.
Because Misery came back after seeing Testarossa.
True.
Yeah. Okay. Listen, guys.
Wait.
Diablo brought them over because he said they'd be useful, and I believed him, all right? I never thought they were these super powerful beings, and they were perfectly happy to be serving me. They're under Diablo's direct control, so he's the one responsible for them. And it'll be on me as well if something happens, but it's only natural to trust in your employees, isn't it? I tried to strike a more upbeat tone as I pushed the blame on Diablo. He was the one who started this. I thought he deserved that much. I turned my eyes toward him, all but begging him to take on Guy's anger for me. For reasons only he knew, he eagerly nodded. So this is how Rimuru always died in the time loops.
That has to be it.
Just
Well,
It was
He's
just Guy jumping out of his chair. Why?
Raphael doing nothing to help him. Like, no, this needs to happen.
It's not Great Sage or Raphael choking him. It's Guy. It's Guy.
Yeah.
Raphael's like, oh,
Why,
thank
you
God,
little-
finally we're getting to
Get
this
back here,
point.
you little shit.
Every time, it's the Homer and Bart all over again.
Anyway, all right. So, all right. Your trust in me is encouraging, like nothing else. I must be more diligent than ever to live up to your expectations.
Dots.
Guy took one look at Diablo's gleaming smile and fell silent. He leaned back in his chair, clearly fatigued. So this is Diablo's fault? He pompously stated. Well, not his fault, exactly. We're kind of victims here, too, you know. I hemmed and hawed a bit, Dino faltering as well. Only Diablo retained his sparkling pride, looking as ebullient as ever. Well, this guy pointed at Diablo, has been a nutcase for ages now, so I'm not going to whine about that at this point. And Dino, if you can't stop Rimuru, well, circumstances being what they were, I understand that. Whoa, whoa, this is getting way out of control. But you, Rimuru, oh, here we go. Why am I taking the heat? What about me? I couldn't lose my cool here. I had to be bold with Guy. Be bold and act like I did nothing wrong. So to keep him from picking up on my indiscretion, I had Raphael take over primary control of my body. That'd keep me safe. No matter how much I was panicking on the inside, I'd remain calm and collected on the surface. Don't give me that shit! Guy then proceeded to angrily lecture me.
For a second, I thought that was him.
Thanks to me, the balance of the world had totally collapsed, blah, blah, blah. Now nobody knew how the world situation would unfold, blah, blah, blah. It was some pretty heady stuff, and even giving Raphael bodily control didn't accomplish much. I guess Guy was a lot more calculating than I thought. And what's more, thanks to you, Misery's mission was a big failure too. I'm gonna hold you at fault for that, you hear me? I wasn't sure how I was at fault for something I wasn't aware of, but if Guy wanted to pin all the blame on me, then so be it. I just nodded. All right, and let it go. The lecture was over, but Guy still wasn't done talking. Huh?
It's like, okay.
Oh, yeah. Apparently, Guy made a deliberate habit of triggering calamities at regular intervals, so the whole of humanity considered him an enemy. His goal was to stoke an unified fear against an all-powerful foe, keeping humankind from wasting its time with needless internal power struggles. When Granville was in power, Guy took no action, refraining from any major moves, but now that Granville attempted an all-out attack on Luminous, the balance of power was totally out of whack. Thus, Guy had ordered Misery to reunite mankind with an event that terrorized everyone at once. Her idea was to kill off the council and all its members, reminding the leaders of the Western nations just how fearsome a demon lord could be. That, she reasoned, would help unite all the leaders peacefully. So Misery attacked the council, and who did she find there but Blanc, or Testarossa now, I suppose. I'm so used to her old title, I can't help but keep using it. But regardless, Misery avoided a confrontation with Testarossa, and so her plan was foiled. That's all well and good. The problem is what comes after. As long as we can't rule over those cunning humans with fear, they're doubtlessly going to start squabbling among themselves. And with the Rozos a thing of the past, history tells us that the power struggle's only going to get more intense. What do you think will happen if the Eastern Empire makes a move while the Western nations are carrying on in that nonsense? They'll lose big is what? And it's your fault, Rimuru, so tell me what you're going to do about it. Well, didn't expect that. Guy was trying to prevent the Western nations from tearing themselves apart. He never seemed to take much interest in the human race, but maybe he was trying to keep doomsday from happening at least. Guess that was his job as arbiter and stuff. He wasn't at all a friend of humankind arbitrator, sorry. Yeah. He wasn't at all a friend of humankind, and his means could get pretty violent, but in a way, I think I could understand his motives. Now I had to question my plans for the Western nations. I didn't even realize Testarossa and Misery had made contact with each other, but I couldn't go and reveal that at this point. All I really wanted to do was make humanity recognize us and build friendly relations with them. But as I pondered over how to answer him, Diablo stepped up in my place. Ignoring the scowl this elicited from Guy, he said, "What will he do, you ask? All Sir Rimuru desires is making his ideals reality." I was anxious about what he might say, but it wasn't like I had any concrete ideas. I doubted idealistic arguments would work on Guy, so I counted on Diablo and his supreme confidence to save the day. But I guess he disappointed me, huh? He went with the whole lofty ideals argument I'd already dismissed. What do you mean by that? Oh, it's very simple, Guy. I'm merely saying there's no point in doing something as bland and uninteresting as terrorizing people. Certainly they'll be more submissive to you, but it's not making the most thorough use of their abilities. Terror, you see, is an emotion that dissipates over time. No matter how much tragedy you engineer, it's doomed to fade into oblivion. Once it does, all that remains is bitterness. Continue. Bitterness, over time, turns into hatred. It drives people to take revenge upon their abusers. Humanity, lacking in intelligence as clever as they may be, fails to notice exactly how absolute the difference in power is between them and us. If they are agitated by monsters or the like, they'll quickly dirty their hands with some quiet, foolish behavior. Right, and that's why I purged them, because I'm not willing to let them get their hands dirty. And I tell you, it is a pointless errand. The inherent foolishness of man causes their memories to fade. One generation gives way to the next so quickly. Ah, there we go.
Bill's here.
Bill's here.
Time to pay the pills. All right. It is also a reminder that it is now your turn, Sonic.
Mhm.
All right. Okay, so one generation gives way, or however.
We're
Just start
actually
with the
at
one generation.
Alright.
yeah.
One generation give. Oh, actually, you know what? Let me get this on my. This is a little easier for me to look at.
hmm
1 second. Come on. Oh, that's the wrong book. I think it's. Oh, it might be 11. Hang on. Sorry. 1 second. Is that?
So-
Nope. It's still volume 11. Why are you not on volume 12? Dang it! I just had it earlier.
Right,
Has
you
that
the
ever
Kindle
happened
version?
before as well? Yeah, I got on the mobile.
Mm.
I guess I probably just searched. Can I just search
Ooh.
on this? Mobile's a little weirder.
Mm.
Dang it. Phone. Thank you. All right.
You're welcome.
One generation gives what? Yeah. Okay, there we go. There we are. All right. One generation gives way to the next so quickly. There's nothing to be done about that. However, he paused for a moment, eyeing Guy with a serious look. Instead of letting the Rozos corner the market, if you redistribute the wealth, you can have nations rebuild their relationships, while retaining some amount of fairness. That, in turn, creates new economic principles. And then, you leave these new principles, their new choices, and you delude them into thinking they've chosen their own future. That way, the foolish humans will believe they've created it for themselves. This system is something that, unlike human memory, never fades. It allows you to rule the humans semi-permanently. Sir Rimuru is only one managing that, and I see it as my personal job. Wow, Diablo was talking sense. So basically, if they built it up themselves, they'll treat it better? Also, was that really what I had in mind? I felt like I might have said something along those lines, but I didn't think it was anything quite so grandiose. That, and he was talking based on a foregone conclusion that it worked, which was kind of scary. I see. So if you're holding on to the economic and guarantee their safety for nothing in return.
Sorry. If you hold on to the economy and guarantee their safety. Sorry.
Oh. So if you hold on to the economy and guarantee their safety for nothing in return, the weak will come to depend on you? A society where everything resolves themselves through bloodless wars? Oh, bloodless war, sorry. A society where everything resolved through bloodless wars. Yeah. Maybe that'd be better than life under the Roso. Guy nodded, seamlessly reevaluating Diablo.
Seemingly.
Oh, seemingly? Oh, sorry. Guy nodded. Seemingly. Oh, wow. Yeah, I see what you mean. Seemingly reevaluating Diablo. Blech. But of course, a world where the masses are left satisfied, not the classes. The supply and demand chains that result will come to create new possibilities as well. And that, Guy, is what Sir Rimuru hopes for. He wasn't wrong, I suppose. What I really looked forward to was seeing how culture would advance and evolve. I wanted to see more mass media for everyone to enjoy. Movies, music, manga, novels. Creating that kind of art required a foundation that afforded you enough free time in life. I wanted to give sorry. I wanted to give people a chance to enjoy prosperity so they could discover these new, previously unknown talents within them. I'll freely admit that I didn't think too much beyond that. See. So once they've learned how to be so once they learn how to nice peace, they
No.
no.
So
I
once
don't
they
know what
learn
happened
how
there.
nice peace can be,
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Sorry.
once they learn about these nice peas,
What's
then
these
yeah.
nice
Richie,
peas?
You're still muted.
Mm.
Once they learn
Oh, is
to
he? He's
nice
been quiet.
peace. Once they learn to nice peace.
Once they learn how nice peas, I don't know. I just completely blanked on that word. I don't know what the hell happened there. Oh, sorry. Hang on. I'm gonna
This
take
is
a drink.
beautiful. Once they learn to nice peace.
Nice peas. Every time I skip a word, every time I miss a word, take a drink.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No.
We're gonna give people alcohol poisoning
Dude,
like that, man.
I don't think
Yeah.
we can. I don't think we can live with the liver damage.
Or I'll be extremely hydrated and have to pee every hour.
Yeah.
Hour.
Hooray.
Like every 30 seconds.
Oh
Yeah,
God,
every
please
second,
no.
yeah.
5
Please
minutes.
no.
5 minutes. Let's
5
be
minutes,
realistic.
Yeah, come on,
minutes,
come on.
come
Give me some credit here.
Yeah, 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
All right. So once they learn how peace nice is, I'm just fucking with it.
Fucking hell! Like goddamn.
No,
son.
no, no. That one I was just screwing with you. So once they've
nice.
learned how
Have you ever
nice
wanted
peace can be, they'll be afraid of losing it? Guy asked Diablo. Precisely. In a word, it's the concept of gratitude. People appreciate Sir Rimuru for protecting the peace, and so they contribute in preserving that peace worldwide. I believe that is far more efficient than terror-driven rule you picture. Oh, hang on. I believe that is far more efficient than the terror-driven rule you picture. Before I knew it, the two of them seemed to fully understand each other. Luminous and Leon listening to Diablo's blueprints for the future, as well as their attendants, as well as their attendants even. They all looked at me, bemused, wondered on their face. Under that kind of pressure, there's absolutely no way I could tell anyone I wasn't thinking like that at all. Hold on, making sure I know who's reading.
It's Guy.
Is it Guy? It looks like it's Diablo.
Yeah, it's Guy.
Oh, okay, it's Guy. You're right.
Mhm.
But if we're going to do that, it'll take a long-term perspective and a lot of intricate calculations, wouldn't it? You have to manage it, or I can easily see that. I'm gonna try that again.
It's okay. You can slow down.
Yeah, I think I notice I read too fast sometimes. So.
Yeah, that's okay. You can
Your
slow
eyes
down and
go
kind
too
of
fast,
play with
definitely.
it. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's okay. You got it.
I can read eternally faster than I can speak. That's probably the problem. But if we're going to do that, it's going to take a long-term perspective and a lot of intricate calculations, wouldn't it? You have to manage it, or I could easily see there being too many humans around to deal with. They'll get carried away. You want me to go through all that trouble? Come on, Guy. It's not like caring for a pet. You're not gonna wake up one day and find that your hamster has 12 babies or something. Hold on. I'm gonna make sure I know who's reading it.
Diablo.
Oh, okay.
Deal. Mhm.
Yeah.
It says Sir Rimuru Diablo.
Oh, yeah. Ha! Ha! And you think Sir Diablo? What the hell? Oh, God. Drake! Sorry.
You'll get there, man. You'll get there.
And
Believe
yeah,
in
I
me.
will. We did have me read like a full stream one day.
Yep.
God. All right. And you think Sir Rimuru is incapable of seeing the future that far? Perhaps it wouldn't be too difficult to manage for you.
Well, Sir
But for
Raphael
Sir
certainly
Rimuru,
is.
it's something he could handle in his spare time. I think it's safe to say there's no need for concern. Whoa! Why is Diablo assuming I'd manage this? I mean, I was pretty sure he and I talked about how running the world behind the scenes was a nice demon lord-like way to go about matters. But if you said that in front of Guy and the other demon lords, they would meddle with me, wouldn't they? I was unnerved, really. But apparently I shouldn't have been. In fact, you think? Well, okay. I'll leave all this to you. I really doubt it's going to end as well as you describe, but it's no
gonna
skin off my...
go as well. Sorry. Oh, I really doubt it's gonna go as well as you describe. Sorry.
As you describe... Okay,
I
yeah.
really doubt it's gonna go as well as you describe.
I really doubt it's going to go as well as you describe, but it's no skin off my nose if you fail. 'Cause if you do fail, I'll just step up and start culling those fools. So let's see you take responsibility for this, alright? Surprisingly enough, Guy was smiling at me. And as if that was it, and if that was blah, 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 blah. And if that was all, what the heck is wrong with me tonight? Goodness sakes.
It's okay. Slow down.
And if that
It's okay.
Drink.
Yep.
And
Drink.
okay. And if that was what it'd come to, I just accept it. If I said, all right, a moment ago, I couldn't really say, no way now, without warning. I think Diablo was exaggerated. Hold on, let's make sure I know who's
This,
reading.
this is Rimuru.
It's,
Yeah.
it's Guy.
Okay.
Oh, it's,
Is
Yeah, it's
No, I think that's.
I'm letting you, like, help me out here. Tell me.
No, this is Rimuru.
This is
It says
Rimuru.
that was my
Okay.
promise. Yeah. But
Okay. I think Diablo was exaggerating things a little, but he's not wrong. He's not wrong generally speaking. Good lord. Sure, it's a bit idealistic, but I feel like it would be nice for if things worked out like that. And regardless of what you have to say about it, I'm going to try to engineer world peace my own way. That was my promise. And so, without really understanding what was going on, I was officially appointed by the Octagram to manage the Western nations.
And that's where we will stop there, because no problem. You're just having trouble reading your phone, so I'm gonna stop you there. And Moon, I'm gonna let you finish us out for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I should just
Alright.
go back to doing it on the screen.
I think on the screen may be helpful.
The thing is, like,
You're
I
not
have
having
this
to
like
look down
super.
as much.
Yeah, I don't have. I could probably show the camera. See, it's like I have like super. I can't even see it because of the thing.
Good lord. Good
Yeah.
lord.
yeah, that's very big.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
very big. So maybe that's too big. Maybe I
Also
made
got
too
some
big.
screen.
Yeah.
Because like it helps to have the full sentence in view. Even if you are reading fast, you can kind of get the full context of what the sentence is, which helps you act.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably tweak that a bit for next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I need to figure out where I am on this now.
It
It
would
would've
have been great.
Yeah.
All right.
It would have been
Would-
great if the summit mercifully ended right there, but we still weren't done with everything. Rimuru, rumbled Leon. Let me give you a word of warning. Carrera, formerly known as John, is the kind of short-tempered demon who'd freely lob nuclear magic around if she's seized by the impulse. You best keep her on a short leash, or else the capital you took great pains to build will become a pile of ash. That's right, chimed in Luminous. And let me just add this. As mentioned earlier, the Violet I know is a malicious, moody individual,
Yeah,
the living
there we go, that's much
embodiment
better.
of brutality. Unlike the monster races, she doesn't seek to eradicate the human race, but she is fickle, prone to quickly change her mind on matters. Perhaps she's pretending to be a nice young lady in front of you, but I'd be very hesitant to let my guard down. Their advice didn't put my mind at ease much, and although they didn't spell it out, it sounded like Testarossa was even more trouble than Carrera and Ultima. Dummy mommy.
Good.
That's what she is.
Good.
though.
me!
This was starting to look like bad news. Well, starting to isn't the right way to put it, maybe. More like it was bad news, and I'd finally just noticed. I now knew Testarossa and the others were primal demons, and I had just told my demon lord peers that they were my problem. If they ever did anything, it'd be my fault. And while they were technically serving under Diablo, blaming him would get me nowhere. I'd even told El Messia I'd take care of them, so I couldn't just rescind my offer. I wanted to go back in time and punch my dull-minded self, but that's what I get for being so thoughtless, I suppose. It'd be a lot harder to manage these guys than all of human society, and the thought made me and the thought made me let out a superstitious,
A
depressed
surreptitious laugh.
sigh. Surreptitious.
Or surreptitious depressed sigh.
Depressed sigh. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Then Ramirez, Dino, and Veldora got to their feet, as if waiting for Guy to wrap up. You know, we feel kind of in the way here, so we'll let you all take care of the rest, okay?
Yeah, I've got some important work to do. Vester's waiting for me and stuff. So,
Oh wait, no, that's Dino.
Yeah, I was wondering,
I've
Veldora.
got some important work to do. Vester's waiting for me and stuff, so I'll catch you guys later.
indeed. And in that case, I will go back to my dungeon guardian duties. A dragon's work is never done. Quah!
They worked as well as a well-practiced, synchronized team, clearly trying their best to get the hell out of Dodge. Dino, in particular, was so eager to not get yelled at any longer that he brought up his totally non-existent work ethic. Huh? Work? You? That joke's not even funny. Guy didn't overlook that either, making the obvious comment, but Ramirez was ready with a retort. No, he's telling the truth. Dino's my assistant now. I'm serious. Guy's eyebrows arched in surprise. He wasn't about to believe anything Dino said, but if Ramirez backed him up, he'd have no choice. Dino is working? What foul magic did you cast upon him, Rimuru?
I think it's more like, what foul magic did you cast upon him, Rimuru? It's
I just feel like
Guy
made
is
the
cool with
slacker
that. He's
work.
definitely playing
Oh,
it for a
come on.
joke, but
What
what
so
foul
here's
magic
the
did you
thing.
cast upon him, Rimuru?
Here's my thing. What do you think, out of all the surprises he's had today, what do you think is the more surprising thing? The thing that he has
I
named
suppose.
3 primals, or that Dino was
Dino's
working?
Dino
getting
was
off
working.
his ass.
Yeah, I'd imagine
So-
when Dino says, hold on. I would imagine when Dino says that, I gotta go work, and everyone in the room is just,
Yeah. There's no
And then
way.
Ramirez is like, no, he's actually working. He's my assistant. And everybody's like,
what?
What?
no,
So I want to reread that.
Good for you. Good for you, Dino.
Hey, anyway.
Getting off your ass.
Dino is working? What foul magic did you cast upon him, Rimuru? His amazement was now pointed my way. It was a tough question to answer. I don't know, but in our nation, the rule is that you gotta sing for your supper, and I'm just having him follow that. There's no spells involved. If I had a spell like that, I'd have a lot less trouble. It must have come out in my tone of voice, because Guy didn't push the topic any further. So Ramirez and her 2 cohorts scurried out of the chamber. They had just finished the tea and snacks Shuna set out for them, so their timing was impeccable.
Literally,
I'd
they just
expect-
came in to eat and left.
Yep.
Yeah, that's them. Yeah, 100%.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'd expect nothing less from them. Fine then, Guy muttered. I've given my complaints to Dino. Hopefully he'll try to bring me some useful information for a change. Again, I really wished he wouldn't muse like that when I was in the same damn room. Being so blatantly alerted about spies in my midst kinda made things hard to deal with. Not that I could tell Guy to knock it off. Might as well look on the bright side, though. It sure beat probing each other out under the table. So I changed the topic. Great. So did you come all the way here to just ask about Testarossa and the other primal demons? If that was all, Guy would have been heading home by now. But he wasn't. So there must have been something else. I really didn't want yet more problems to deal with, but we wouldn't be getting anywhere unless I asked. That was on my mind, yes, but I have another question. Guy reclined in his seat, looking at the rest of us before settling upon Leon. I just had an encounter with a group that called themselves the Moderate Jesters. Oh? That's the group you had dealings with, isn't it? Guy asked Leon. It is, Leon replied with a nod. Hang on, he just casually confirmed Guy's suspicions, but that was pretty damn important. Wait, so did you see Yuki too? Oh wait, no, okay. Wait, so did you see Yuki too? I asked Guy. Mm-hmm. Not long ago, I ordered Soei to examine the Free Guild headquarters and its regional branches. I was pretty sure our encounter yesterday wasn't planned by Yuki, so I figured he'd pop back to his own headquarters. I doubted he'd make much of a public presence, so I had Soei's forces stake out likely guild sites, keeping an eye out for disguises and stand-ins. For the time being, I hadn't heard anything, but I never thought Yuki would run into Guy instead. So, are you connected to Yuki then? I pressed. Huh? Don't be silly, Guy replied. They were trying to flee to the east, so I spanked him a little for it. Oh, Daddy.
God damn it! No,
Let's
no,
go.
Oh, Guy.
No.
I suspected Guy and Yuki might be in cahoots,
All right.
but I guess not.
Everybody, you heard it here. Moon just asked for 2 Dilf burgers to go.
Extra fries.
Oh, just make him one big one.
One big
Juicy.
Dilf burger. Dilf burger, extra juicy.
One Luther burger with cheese.
All right, anyway.
Sorry.
That was a
sorry.
relief, but it still didn't indicate what Guy was after. You didn't kill him? Leon asked. I was curious about that myself, but moreover, was he saying that Yuki abandoned his positions in the west and tried to flee eastward? He never struck me as the type to shy away from making big moves, but this was an incredibly bold decision even for him. Too bad he was unlucky enough to draw Guy's ire. If he spanked him, Daddy, I assumed murder wasn't on the menu, but he sure must have put him through the ringer. Not that I felt bad for Yuki, he deserved it.
Mhm.
No, I didn't kill him. At first, I thought I'd capture him and make you owe me a favor, but things changed.
A favor, you say.
A favor.
Guy
proceeded.
Hydrate and posture checks.
Good. Yes.
Guys, I don't
Appreciate
understand why you're redeeming 2 posture checks. We can only do 1 at a time.
I'll do one big one then.
Gotta
Believe it or
really
not, my
bend.
posture's
All right,
actually fine.
I can go further. There, that's my new
Mine's
posture.
not.
I can go further.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and this is to go even further
Even
beyond.
further beyond!
It's too
You
far.
all know the rules, and so do I.
So do I. Say goodbye.
When William is lurking,
When a million,
she be turkin'.
when a millim is lurking, she be twerking.
There we go.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Yeah, all right, go.
Guy proceeded to
I mean, with
tell
Lady.
me how his encounter with Yuki turned out. Now we had a clearer, albeit still vague, idea of what he was up to when nobody was looking. He was the main employer and boss of the Moderate Jesters, proving Raphael correct. So we went over everything, good or bad, Yuki had been up to. Once he developed the Society of
One.
Adventurers into the Free Guild.
It's not
well,
once. Yeah.
Yeah, I see it. 1, he developed the Society of Adventurers into the Free Guild. 2, he built connections to the Rozos, de facto rulers of the council, and handled their dirty work, including being an intermediary to Leon. 3, he backed Clayman as a demon lord, even controlling him behind the curtain. 4, he crushed the Echidna Club, the shady group that presided over the Eastern Empire underground, and created the secret Cerberus Society to replace it. In public society, he created the Free Guild. Outside of it, he was an organized crime leader. The Echidna Club was news to me, but it sounded like a pretty gigantic presence in the underworld. And that info came from Leon, so there was no doubting it. The Orthrus slave market that Masayuki broke up, by the way, was an affiliate of Cerberus, so I'm sure Yuki had a hand in that too. The pattern seemed to indicate that Yuki had a knack for crushing existing organizations and taking them over for himself. Sounded easy enough, but it was incredibly difficult to put into practice. And he had done it all in under 10 years. Talented wasn't the half of it. Calling him a genius was no exaggeration at all. Still, I didn't like how overly self-confident he was. No matter how talented you were, failing to accurately judge your opponent's strengths was a serious mistake. One look at Guy should have taught you how much trouble he was. Yuki managed to escape this time, though. If I had to say one positive thing about him, it was his incredible good luck. Learning he was alive left me with mixed feelings. We shared a homeland, after all, and I didn't actually want him to die or anything. But at the same time, I couldn't just let everything he did slide. He pretended to be this nice, affable guy, but meanwhile, he was using the Rozo family and even Leon as his pawns. That, and he sent the Moderate Jesters to drag Hinata and me into battle. Even worse, this was all for the sake of world conquest, a dream too childish for me to laugh at. So why did Guy let Yuki go? I decided to ask him point blank. If he answered me, then hey, win-win. All right, so if you let him escape, then what could possibly be your plan? Oh, it's all just a game. He deadpanned. Oh, it's all just a game. He deadpanned. I wasn't sure what game meant in the context, but he ignored my suspicions. As he put it, the Eastern Empire was bound to make a move soon, and Yuki had offered to go in and sabotage things if Guy spared his life. So it sounds like you don't want the Western nations to fall. But why? I'd been wondering about that. But Guy's reply was even more surprising. Because it's my job to manage them so they don't fall. I mean, I don't want too many humans around there. But regardless, my final mission, you know, is to put all of humanity under the rule of the Demon Lords. That, I surmised, was the game Guy alluded to. And once his rule was complete, so was his victory. Well, I mean, why'd you have Lady Misery try to wreck the council then? Ah, shit. There we go. If she killed all the counselors just when the East was on the attack, the Western nations would be at a deadly disadvantage. None of the countries could work with one another. The battle could have been over before it began. Guy chuckled at the question. Just Misery is fine, he casually replied. I gave Misery permission to unite the West into a single entity. What was that supposed to mean?
Understood. He presumably wanted to spread terror across the West, making it easier for you to rule over it.
So is it like this then? A demon lord massacres the council, everyone's panic-stricken, then I lend a hand, and they all eagerly agree to my protection? If a few people had to die for it, then oh well?
Understood. Presumably so.
I see. It was pretty extreme, a bit like starting a fire so you could be the hero who put it out, and I felt Guy and Misery had different motives, but they did it all for me? Or not? Maybe he just wanted to take advantage of me so I could manage the Western nations for him. What he didn't know was that I'd already made some deep inroads in the West. I didn't think quite this far ahead, but with Testarosa's support, I pretty much had the council in my pocket. But Guy wasn't out to destroy humanity. Quite the opposite. He wanted to appropriately manage those fools so they didn't kill themselves off. And if I took up that job, Guy couldn't ask for anything better. It was exactly what he wanted, really. One thing I definitely understood about Guy now, he was way too sketchy with his work. I had to admit, I could probably handle this better than him.
I won't disagree with that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, so you don't have any issue with me basically having total control of the West? I said. Not at all. As long as some fool doesn't get cocky and kick up a fuss, I have no complaints. Great then. This was turning into a much shorter process than I expected. But if that was how the chips fell, then I might as well take over Western nations management. In that case, I'll be glad to accept. And since I am, I'd appreciate it if you could quit messing around in northern Inglacia. From what others had told me, one of Guy's underlings enjoyed causing havoc up north on regular occasions. Razul was the guardian up there, and Shion had just done a fine job killing him, unfortunately. Given the state of emergency, Elmacia Thalion had sent a team of Magus Knights over to keep the peace. It wouldn't be right of me to thank her for that, exactly. It wouldn't be right of me to thank her for that, exactly, but it'd be incredibly selfish to tap her armies again for the same thing. If I was going to rule the Western nations, it was up to me to defend them, and that meant a lot of money. I'd have to waste on a defense budget. I really wanted to avoid that. The world's not exactly crawling with talent like Razul. No need to... Oh, wait. Is that... Oh, okay. No need to worry about that. We can leave such trivial matters to Testarossa as well. Diablo smirked at me, banishing all my concerns. But before I could ask if that was really okay... Right, yeah. The guys up there could use a breather anyway, I'm sure. Let them all do what they like. Even Guy agreed with Diablo. It made me think about just how inscrutable the thoughts of demons were to normies like me. So as Diablo suggested, I let Testarossa handle all the demon activity in Inglacia. I had a pledge from Guy, and I figured that would stave off any conflict before it started. I was thus now the ruler of the West, but we still had a few loose ends to tie up. So, Rimuru, can I leave you responsible for the Eastern Empire? Luminous's question reminded me of that other issue. Well, if you're saying that the Empire is making a move, do you mean militarily speaking? I wanted to ask just in case. Guy gave me a nod like this was the dumbest question in the world. Lately, Hinata explained to me, the Empire's been conducting a rash of military exercises. It was brought up. It was brought up in the council too. If she was aware of it, she must have already come up with some countermeasures. I didn't think the Empire was going to stage an army invasion. The 3 routes they had to choose from were all forbiddingly difficult to conquer, so it didn't seem like a realistic choice. There was too little merit in the Empire aiming for the West, unless they didn't care about their casualties. Staging an invasion at the end of it is meant to be a profitable enterprise. You don't have food or resources or a place to live, so you strike at other nations that do. But if you solve your own problems, there's no longer any need to risk bloodshed. Of course, it's never that easy to solve problems. There's no reason for a wealthy nation to bust their hump over a poor one. So if they're asked to, there's the seed of a conflict right there. That's why wealthy nations keep a standing army to defend themselves. It's important to make would-be invaders think they won't have an easy victory. Nobody's going to dirty their hands with war if the profit isn't worth shedding blood over. But why else would people want to go into war?
All right, that's where we'll call it.
Okay.
Exactly at 10:30 on the dot. Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, and oh man, the crazy part is we're probably gonna finish chapter 1 pretty quickly next week because we got all the way. We got 60 pages done tonight. We chewed through.
Nice.
We chewed through some content, and
Thanks,
chapter 1 Chapter 1 is only 75 pages.
Oh,
So-
wow.
So we've got 15 pages to get through before we finish chapter 1. So we'll be a good way into chapter 2 next week. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm still just gonna go straight into 2 after that.
Yeah, we're probably gonna go straight into 2.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. So
Right.
we'll jump into chapter 2 and then we'll go to oh wow. Chapter 3 starts on chapter 2 ends at 124. So we might actually
Wow.
finish chapter 2 tomorrow. Or not tomorrow. But,
Tomorrow.
no, not tomorrow, next week. We may actually
Yeah.
finish that next week cuz man, going through 60 pages, we might actually get there. Yeah.
Nice.
If we're able to chew through like we did tonight, yeah, we can manage to pull this off. So there we go, guys.
It's
Good
possible.
times. Good times.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, there it is. Shim, do you have anything you want to plug?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
I mean, I do want to learn more about like coding and stuff like that for like potential avatars stuff later, but we'll
Nice.
see. That might be
Sonic,
kind of cool to
Is
look
there
into.
anything that you want to plug?
My YouTube channel, Snuggle Velocity. Go check it out.
Go check it
I'm
out,
working
guys.
on videos.
All right.
I'm still editing stuff, but stuff's in the pipeline, but other stuff, auditions,
Gotcha.
whatnot. I have to do like 4 today to get a sampler by June 9th.
Gotcha.
130 in total, actually.
Moon, things that you want to plug?
Yeah, I've got my second reaction to Konosuba, the second episode. I finally uploaded that, and I realized, oh shit, it took me 2 weeks to upload that, and I had it edited and rendered and everything for that entire time. I was just stupid.
You just didn't upload it.
So yeah. Anyways, I'm trying to keep it to a
I know how that be.
weekly, or let's just face it, bi-weekly schedule. So
Mhm.
but I put them
Yeah.
up on the Discord. The links are in the Discord. You have to be a patron in order to have access to it. So there's that.
So
Reason
just
to become a
another
patron?
good reason to become a patron, and that's available to all of our patrons, by the way.
Yes, even as low as $1, you're good.
Yeah. So
And
all tiers.
also, I have a plan to do something small, stupid, and funny for Only Hands.
Only hands. Oh no.
Only hands.
So be on the lookout for an Only Hands coming near you.
Oh,
Oh, you should have did something like that for April Fools.
I wasn't
Maybe
thinking
next time.
of it at the time.
All right. So anyway,
Maybe next
We're
time.
too late. Maybe next year.
Slime updates. Quick slime updates. I have finished putting together the AMV video for the credits, and we have decided that we are going to do a special thing for our patrons. We're going to we still have to get the song finished for it and everything, but we're going to turn in a karaoke version of it.
Woo!
We're going to actually put like the words down and have a bouncing Rimuru. Like a little
Yay!
bouncing Rimuru going across.
Gotta make a little animation squishing
Yeah,
too.
so we're actually going to do a karaoke version that you can sing along to. We're gonna put that in there. So if you want to sing along to it, we've got that. It took me quite a bit. I had to download several actual raw episodes of the actual slime show, like not just our abridged. Like I did take clips from our abridged and put them in there, but I had to actually grab raw from the actual show, which means I had to grab the MKV files and like hunting those sons of bitches down and finding finding that and then converting them from like MKV formats to formats that I could actually like put into my editing software.
MP4 or
Yeah, converting them to MP4 so I could actually put them in my editing software and then cut them apart and like time them appropriately.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. It was a process. It was definitely a process. So when we actually get to it, the credits are going to be, we're going to put like a little filter. We're going to make it smaller. We're going to put a little filter on it. And put it on the side, and we're gonna have the credits scrolling up on the side, but still have this over here, and then we're gonna have our parody version of Rimuru playing, and so it's gonna be timed out to Rimuru, and it's gonna be kind of monochromatic, black and white isk, with a little filter over it and everything. We're gonna do a bunch of things to that video for the actual credits, and put heavy effects on it so that it doesn't get so copyrighted and everything, and
here's hoping.
And then the version that goes up on Patreon is going to be the version that is everybody can see. Everybody can see that. Everybody can watch that. That's ours. That's our AMV video. We have cut. We have edited that together. That's just straight up us. So yeah. That's the raw version that you all get, but we still have to put that all together. We have to cut that. We have to get everybody to sing on it. We have to record all that. So that's the part that's going to take a while. It's going to take the longest, especially on my part, guys, because I have to get a recording space. I have to find I have to find a place where I can actually record, because I can't do that anymore. I no longer have to.
Yeah, because I actually couldn't get that in.
I mean, like,
Before all
most of
that,
your
but
problem
yeah.
is just the reverb. So as it is right now, if you just get a comforter.
No, not for professional singing stuff.
Yeah, I guess you would have to have like a studio completely soundproof thing for that.
Yeah.
I need something at least better than this, and I don't know. I will talk to you guys. I don't want to talk about this on stream. I got to talk to you guys off stream about what's coming up there. So
Okay.
we've got that, and we will catch you guys tomorrow for the Resident Evil streams. I will be finishing up the Chris portion of my stream, and then starting up Resident Evil 2 for however long it takes me to finish up Resi 1. Oh, we found out why it is that you didn't have to fight Nemesis for part 2. You didn't set off the self-destruct. No, it's because you didn't set off the self-destruct sequence.
Self-destruct?
There was a self-destruct sequence, and because you didn't start the self-destruct sequence for the mansion, that's why.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, it had nothing to do. It had nothing to do with Barry dying. By the way, Barry did not die. I mean, in your game he did, but the canon version is that Barry doesn't die.
Oh, you screwed up.
Okay.
Yeah. So what actually happened is you done messed
Played the
up.
game before.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Barry. The canon version is that Barry doesn't die, and yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. Because Resident Evil Revelations 2, Barry's still around because you're actually helping Barry find his daughter.
Okay.
Interesting.
You're helping Barry rescue his daughter in a later version, but I don't remember if it's Jill that you're playing. I don't think it's Jill that you're playing as. I think you're Claire. Barry because Barry's still around.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Barry's
Funny
very
haircut.
much still around, and he's a seasoned guy. Like, here's the thing: you're like, oh, Barry's a traitor. Actually, if you'd actually played further on, you'd realize that Barry actually betrays Wesker to help save Jill. In the end, so Barry turns traitor on Wesker to help save Jill. You, Jill, Chris, and Barry all get out. That's how it ends. If you do it the proper way.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
So you didn't do whatever you're actually supposed to blow up the mansion and not let any of the infected out. You're supposed to blow up the mansion so the nightmare doesn't actually spread.
Mm.
So
Today,
here's the thing. We at this moment are blaming you for what happens in Resident Evil 3. Because you didn't blow up the mansion. So everything that happens in Resident Evil 3, because Resident Evil 3 is...
In Fat Dog Canon.
Because Jill is the main character in Resident Evil 3, everything that happens in Resident Evil 3 is your fault.
Interesting.
Yeah. Now, if you do the same thing in Chris's playthrough, everything that happens in Resident Evil 2 is also your fault. So if you don't blow up the mansion, Resident Evil 2 is your fault.
Interesting.
So you gotta do everything you're just gonna try to prevent that from
if you're
happening
not
and then accidentally have it
So
happen.
if you're not able to figure it out, if you don't remember and you fuck it up again, Resident Evil 2 is your fault.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. Even though technically the whole Raccoon City incident is Resident Evil 2 and 3 happening simultaneously. So technically we could say that 2 and 3 are both your fault, but I'm only blaming you for one game at the moment. The reason I'm only blaming you for 3 and not 2 is because Claire Redfield is Chris's little sister. So if you don't mess up on Chris, I won't blame you for 2 because Claire is in that one.
Claire.
And she's looking for Chris. That's the whole thing. Yeah.
I'm looking for Chris
Well,
for some reason.
yeah, I'm just gonna say right now, I'm probably gonna mess up. So.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see. You can find the self-destruct sequence and start it and set it off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that I know it exists, I'm definitely gonna look for it.
Yeah. I don't remember where it was. I just remember that I started it.
Fair.
Yeah. I just remember that I did it. And I'm like, wait a minute. What? How did you not set it off? Because I set it off.
Was it in like a not so obvious room?
No.
Or...
It was pretty blatant.
Oh.
So we blame the moon.
Oh.
That's exactly right, Revan. We blame the moon.
We blame the moon.
We blame the moon. That is exactly.
Well.
I blame you for this.
How do you like that, Obama? I pissed on the moon, you idiot!
Oh, God.
You not remember the Sonic Adventure fandom with Albert?
No.
Doing Eggman? Oh, I gotta show you that
All right,
afterwards.
Guys,
I gotta
thank
show you
you
that
so
here in a
much.
minute.
We will see you on the next
thank you.
zany adventure of slime light novel readings. Thank you guys so much. All right.
Yes, thank you.
Y'all have a good night. Bye-bye.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye!